the Interstellar Mecha cook. Hey, fanfic family. So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction, so don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Chapter 151. If you want food, please tell me clearly. After Lin Miaomiao went offline, Yi Hongwen reflected, wondering if he had overreached. He ultimately concluded that he was right. Yi Hongwen felt that Lin Miaomiao was still too young. While talented and hardworking, she hadn't been exposed to much, and was easily drawn to new and exciting things. With this profound lesson in mind, he expected to be more mindful of moderation in everything he did. However, during dinner, Liu Kaoyer informed Yi Hongwen, Miaomiao didn't come out for dinner. After training that day, Liu Kaoyer and her friend went back to the dormitory to invite Lin Miaomiao to dinner, but she refused. I'm not hungry. I need to get some sleep first, Lin Miaomiao said. Lin Miaomiao's words were true. She wasn't hungry, but she was very sleepy. She'd worked hard to level up, sleeping only 2 or 3 hours a day. It was a shame that despite all her efforts, she still couldn't match someone else's sword. She was furious when she first went offline, but soon felt sleepy and abandoned her anger to Javanese, trying to catch up on sleep, not even wanting to eat. When Yi Hongwen arrived at their dormitory, Lin Miaomiao was still soundly asleep in her room, the door tightly shut. He only hesitated for a few seconds before knocking. The knocks continued, and the slumbering Lin Miaomiao struggled for a moment before shouting in frustration, "Stop knocking. Don't you know you'll get kicked by a donkey if you disturb someone's sleep?" "What do you mean?" Yi Hongwen didn't understand, but he didn't dwell on it and continued knocking. Lin Miaomiao, annoyed by the knocks, stood up with a sullen face and opened the door. Upon seeing who was outside, her first instinct was to close the door again. Unfortunately, her reaction wasn't as quick as Yi Hongwen's, because while the door was closed, it was Yi Hongwen who had done it. In the eyes of Liu Kaoyer and the other two, Yi Hongwen simply pushed Lin Miaomiao into the room, followed him in, and closed the door behind him. "Is this okay for a single man and a single woman?" Liu Kaoyer asked blankly. Feng Liken said nonchalantly, "It's okay. Miaomiao might be happy about it." Lin Miaomiao was of course not happy about it, at least not at this moment when she was extremely sleepy. She glared at Yi Hongwen in dissatisfaction. "You don't want me to play games, and you don't want me to sleep either." Yi Hongwen frowned and said coldly, "Why don't you go eat?" "I'm not hungry," Lin Miaomiao said. "I'm so sleepy now. I won't die of hunger if I don't eat." Yi Hongwen was silent. He could tell that Lin Miaomiao was telling the truth. So, did he come here just to eat and have nothing to do? Not wanting to make a wasted trip, Yi Hongwen said, "Since you're awake, go eat first and then sleep after you finish." Lin Miaomiao refused without hesitation. "No, I don't want to eat. I want to sleep. After eating, sleep after," Yi Hongwen said with a strange look on his face. "Do you want me to take you to the cafeteria?" "Take? How?" Lin Miaomiao suddenly had an idea and woke up. It couldn't be what she thought. Lin Miaomiao woke up too late. Yi Hongwen had already made a move. He reached out and picked her up, heading out. Lin Miaomiao was stunned. This was what being held by Yi Hongwen felt like. Her mind went blank. Once outside, Liu Kaoyer and the other two's eyes lit up, staring at the two men with curiosity. "Teacher Yi, what are you doing?" Liu Kaoyer asked fearlessly. Her excitement bringing up the old nickname. Lin Miaomiao suddenly woke up and said shyly and embarrassedly, "Put me down. I'm not going to the cafeteria." "No," Yi Hongwen said sternly. "You're so young, you don't eat on time." "Who taught you that?" "But I'm still in my nightgown. Do you want everyone to come and see me?" Lin Miaomiao couldn't stand it any longer. She was not only in her nightgown, but she was also not wearing any underwear because it was more comfortable that way. Everything was fine before. No one would barge into her room without permission, especially no man. Who could have known this would happen today? It was so embarrassing. Upon hearing this, Yi Hongwen subconsciously glanced at Lin Miaomiao, then froze. The three onlookers were almost laughing like crazy. When they had enough, Feng Liken kindly intervened, saying, "Put Miaomiao down." We brought her some food. Responding, Yi Hongwen hurriedly put her down. Luckily, he was stopped. If he had really carried Lin Miaomiao out in her pajamas, Lin Haoshan would have been hell-bent on him. Most importantly, he didn't want anyone to see Lin Miaomiao like this. Lin Miaomiao, barefoot on the floor, ignored the food Liu Kaoyu brought, and looked at Yi Hongwen accusingly. "You're bullying me." Yi Hongwen was speechless. Lin Miaomiao ran into the room and slammed the door shut. "Boss," Liu Kaoyu asked cautiously, "are you still going to call Miaomiao?" Yi Hongwen came to his senses and said coldly, "No need. Since you've prepared the meal, just wait for her to wake up and eat it herself." "Why tell me?" This was a blatant venting of anger, Liu Kaoyu and the other two thought, but they didn't dare to refute. "I'm leaving first. You can call her out for dinner later," Yi Hongwen said, and walked away. After he left, Lin Miaomiao changed her clothes and opened the door again. She glanced at the living room and asked with a blank face, "Where's he? Did he flee for fear of being punished?" "He said to wait until you wake up before eating." Liu Kaoyu swallowed, always feeling that Miaomiao's current appearance was a little scary. Lin Miaomiao's eyes widened. "He woke me up and ran away like this. Good job, Yi Hongwen. I will remember this account. I can't beat you now, but if I can surpass you in the future, I will definitely beat you up." After Lin Miaomiao swore an oath secretly, her mood suddenly improved a lot. Although she didn't know if she would ever surpass Yi Hongwen, it wasn't illegal to think about it. However, putting aside the fact that she was bullied, being hugged by Yi Hongwen today while she was sober, did it mean that he treated her differently? Lin Miaomiao thought about it and her mood inexplicably improved a lot. "Give it to me." Lin Miaomiao stretched out her hand to Liu Kaoyu. "What do you want to bring?" Liu Kaoyu looked at Lin Miaomiao in confusion. The topic changed so quickly that she said she could hardly keep up. Feng Lican reminded in a low voice, "Dinner." This idiot actually forgot the purpose of their fuss. To be honest, it seemed a bit too much to ask Yi Hongwen to come over just for a meal. "Oh, I see," Liu Kaoyu suddenly realized. "If you want food, just say it clearly. No one will understand if you're so clueless." Veins popped on Lin Miaomiao's forehead. "Who are you talking about? Haha, it was a slip of the tongue. I didn't mean to. I'll get you the food right away," Liu Kaoyu said with a fawning smile. Quickly running to get the food from the insulated box in the corner of the living room. After dinner, Lin Miaomiao released Lolly from the space button to help with the dishes. After Wu Na's advice, she had been planning to leave Lolly in the space button for the time being, but now she had decided not to. After this game incident, everyone in the fleet had noticed her, so she might as well be more prominent. Chapter 152 Jealousy. After the punishment, Lin Miaomiao resumed her regular training, exercising with her friends every day. However, she had been delayed for over a week, and the intensity of the training had slowed down. Liu Kaoyu and the other new recruits had already increased their running laps to 12, their frog jumps to 3, and were about to attempt the third event, rock climbing. Lin Miaomiao, however, was still only running 10 laps and doing 2.5 frog jumps. As for the rock climbing, sorry, her hands and feet were weak and she couldn't make it up. Being left behind and being watched was tragic enough, but even more tragic was being left alone in the afternoon mecha battle. The Shenyu fleet had recruited a total of 127 new recruits this year. With Lin Miaomiao's absence a few days ago, there were exactly 63 pairs. Now that she was here, she was left alone. Liu Kaoyu and the others were all former classmates, making it difficult to make a last-minute substitution. They could only give her an apologetic smile and go off to practice separately. Lin Miaomiao turned to Liu Yifei. "Who am I going to practice with?" Well, Liu Yifei was a little embarrassed. The veterans actually had their own fixed pairs, and he was afraid of their disapproval if he just broke them up. Liu Yifei's practice opponent was Luo Chang, who smiled upon hearing this. "How about you sacrifice yourself, Yifei, and I'll go practice with Miaomiao." "Okay," Liu Yifei thought, thinking this was the best solution. He had plenty of opportunities to practice anyway, and a few hours in the afternoon wouldn't be a big deal. Luo Chang boarded his mecha and was about to practice with Lin Miaomiao when Liu Chainer suddenly appeared and called him back. "Wait," Liu Chainer said with a sweet smile, "Luo Chang, you should practice with Liu Yifei." "I'll play with this little girl." Luo Chang couldn't help but frown. He felt that there was a hidden meaning in Liu Chainer's words, giving him a bad feeling. He refused. "I'll go with her. We're closer," Let her choose, Liu Chainer said with a feigned openness. In her opinion, Lin Miaomiao would definitely choose her. A few days at this pace would reveal that Liu Chainer was determined to win Yi Hongwen over. Why did this newcomer, Lin Miaomiao, deserve his special treatment? After all, they had been teammates for 2 years, so Luo Cheng couldn't refuse Liu Chainer's idea. He could only smile wryly and ask Lin Miaomiao, "Who do you want to fight?" To Liu Chainer's surprise, Lin Miaomiao rejected her proposal, saying, "I know Brother Luo, so let Brother Luo coach me." Knowing that the other party had ill intentions, Lin Miaomiao would be crazy to agree to let her spar with him. "Why are you like this?" Liu Chainer's face suddenly changed. "You don't even have the courage to spar with me? Then stay away from Hongwen from now on." Lin Miaomiao put on an invincible expression. "Who do you think you are to him? What qualifications do you have to ask me to stay away from him?" Yi Hongwen, who had just arrived at the training ground, quietly retreated to the lounge. He had received a text message from Liu Yifei asking for help, but it seemed that he didn't need to step in to rescue a certain girl. Liu Chainer held her head high and puffed out her chest. "No matter who I am to him, you don't even have the courage to fight me. You have no right to stand by his side." Lin Miaomiao was not without courage at all. She just hated her self-righteous face. Being squeezed by her like this, she suddenly remembered Kao's inexplicable words last time and said casually, "Do you think you have the final say just because you have big breasts?" She pretended to be practicing, but in fact, everyone who was listening to the gossip was shocked. This girl was too fierce. Yi Hongwen, who was standing in the lounge, silently glanced at Lin Miaomiao's chest. She was young, so there should be room for development. Liu Chainer's face turned red with anger. Are you a girl? How could you say such a thing? Why can't girls say that?" Lin Miaomiao was very calm. "I'm not teasing you." Liu Chainer retreated. "Forget it, since you don't dare, I won't force you. I really don't understand why Yi Hongwen looks at you differently. You don't look like a girl." "You mean, people like me are not girls, and only people like you are considered girls?" Lin Miaomiao asked seriously. "Of course," Liu Chainer answered without thinking, and then she found out that she had been tricked. A flat-headed woman suddenly jumped out of a colorful mecha. "Fuck. Liu Chainer, what do you mean? You just act like a coquettish fool all day long, and you even look down on others. I'm not a woman just because my breasts are not as big as yours." The other female team members did not jump out of the mecha, but turned on the mecha's external speakers. "You can't catch up with the boss because you're incompetent. Why take it out on the little sister? The boss might find you too mature and take you out like a nanny. Don't think you're the only one with femininity. As a mecha pilot, you're only focused on chasing men. I feel ashamed for you." Lin Miaomiao was stunned. Her words had such a huge impact. It was so powerful that Lin Miaomiao almost admired herself. "You guys are going too far. Why do you all help her? We've obviously spent more time together," Liu Chainer said, tears streaming down her face. "Who helped her?" "It's you who can't speak," the flat-headed woman said, jumping back into the mecha cabin with disdain. "I can't stand your face that you're the only woman in the whole fleet." Being accused to her face, Liu Chainer blushed and didn't know how to react. She could only glare at Lin Miaomiao hatefully. "You framed me." Lin Miaomiao felt innocent. Why did everyone who picked on her end up accusing her of framing them? Was she so easy to bully? After thinking for 3 seconds, Lin Miaomiao decisively challenged Liu Chainer. "You slandered my reputation. I challenge you to a duel." Liu Yifei was shocked and tried to stop her. "Miaomiao, don't be impulsive. Let's talk it over nicely." Although both of them were 4th-level mecha masters, Liu Chainer had fought pirates and alien beasts, while Lin Miaomiao, a recent graduate, was far from as experienced as her. Lin Miaomiao didn't care. "For me, winning or losing is secondary, as long as she expressed her attitude." Even if she couldn't beat Liu Chainer, she had to disgust her. A duel is a duel. Who's afraid of who? Liu Chainer quickly accepted, fearing that Lin Miaomiao would be persuaded to change her mind. "Then let's start now." Lin Miaomiao summoned Aoksu and quickly entered the mecha. Liu Chainer was not happy. "Wait, I still have to go back and change my clothes. It will be too hot on the mecha cabin. What if my new clothes get soaked with sweat?" Lin Miaomiao stumbled and fell into the driver's seat when she heard this. Their duel was caused by jealousy. Shouldn't they make harsh remarks or negotiate conditions at this time, such as whoever loses will stay away from Yu Huangwen? Although she would not agree to such conditions if Liu Chainer proposed them, she always felt that something was missing if she didn't mention it. She didn't have the opportunity to show her steadfast and unyielding character. Lin Miaomiao felt very disappointed. A quarter of an hour later, Liu Chainer's light yellow dress turned into a black tight suit, and she returned to the training ground with murderous intent. 2 mechas, one red and one white, took up combat postures. The atmosphere in the field was extremely solemn, and it felt like something was about to break out. Then the white mecha moved, and the red mecha turned on the external speaker. Liu Chainer shouted, "It's not too late for you to admit defeat now, as long as you stay away from the boss in the future." Lin Miaomiao's eyes lit up, and she finally said something harsh. She quickly opened her mouth to answer, "I refuse. Yi Hongwen is not a good-for-nothing and cannot be used as a bet." Yi Hongwen, who is a good-for-nothing, held his forehead with his hand. Should he go back to the office to work? Chapter 153 New Energy Weapons. Despite being unable to reach an agreement, the two had to fight, but Liu Chainer, provoked, immediately unleashed her ultimate attack. "Liu Chainer, are you crazy? You actually launched an ultrasonic scattershot attack," Liu Yifei roared in frustration. "Old team members, protect those who haven't yet boarded the mechas. New team members, get out of the training ground immediately. Luo Chang, go open the protective shield." As for Lin Miaomiao, he wanted her to admit defeat but didn't know how. He could only urge Yi Hongwen, who hadn't yet appeared, to hurry over and prevent the crazy woman from injuring Lin Miaomiao. Yi Hongwen, however, was not in a hurry. Aoxu's level 3 defense was already comparable to that of a level 4 mecha. Now that it had been upgraded to level 4 mecha, even if Lin Miaomiao couldn't defeat it, it was impossible for her to be seriously injured. Indeed, as soon as Liu Chainer attacked, Aoxu automatically released its protective shield and flew into the air. Lin Miaomiao wasn't one to take a beating. After dodging Liu Chainer's attack, she attacked. She commanded Aoxu to her right, unleashing her newly installed titanium blade. "What an inexperienced rookie," Liu Chainer scoffed. She maneuvered the mech, effortlessly dodging Aoxu's attack. Just as she was about to unleash her next attack, she felt a sudden burst of intense white light behind her. Oh no, the enemy had a trick up their sleeve. The red mech rolled on the ground, awkwardly dodging the flash of light, then quickly ascended to Aoxu's level. Liu Chainer's face darkened. She had to admit she'd underestimated her foe, but she didn't attribute the success to Lin Miaomiao herself, only to the white mech. "Your mech is quite good. It must have cost a fortune. It's a shame you didn't find a strong enough owner," Liu Chainer taunted, turning on the loudspeaker. Since Liu Chainer hadn't taken action, Lin Miaomiao stood quietly nearby. This wasn't a life-or-death battle, there was no need to risk her life. Hearing the taunts, Lin Miaomiao remained unperturbed, calmly retorting, "My mech is great because I have a good father. You're jealous, nothing can be done about it. What's so great about that? One day I'll have a mech like that," Liu Chainer resentfully replied. "Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and get started. But don't try to stall for time." Who was stalling for time? Lin Miaomiao, feeling innocent, followed her lead and unceremoniously fired a homing energy projectile at her. This was a newly developed Haiguang device, not yet in production. Unbeknownst to Liu Chainer, the red mech dodged the homing projectile and lunged at Aoxu. Aoxu's shield was too formidable for energy attacks, leaving her with only her fists and cold weapons. As soon as the red mech launched a punch, the homing projectile, which had already turned, pierced her mech's pod. Please note, the pod is damaged. The damage is 40 to 50%. Repair is required, otherwise your life will be in jeopardy, the mech's intelligent mechanical system declared. Liu Chainer was both shocked and furious. "Hongyan, you couldn't detect an attack from behind," Hongyan replied, "It's an unknown energy round. The system doesn't have inventory data, so it can't be detected. We're analyzing it." Liu Chainer was horrified. What exactly was Lin Miaomiao's identity? Her mecha's high defense could be considered her family's esteem. But it was equipped with a new type of energy round that wasn't even listed in Hongyan's database. Her family must be quite powerful. Liu Chainer was too self-righteous, assuming that new recruits chosen for the Shenyu fleet wouldn't have prominent backgrounds. Don't those with strong backgrounds usually choose the larger fleets? So, she completely ignored Lin Miaomiao and didn't even look at her resume. She'd have to look at Lin Miaomiao's resume when she got back, Liu Chainer thought, impatiently urging Hongyan. Have you finished analyzing it? Hongyan's electronic eyes flashed. It's analyzed. It's a new type of tracking round. It can automatically turn and track its target until it's achieved its goal. What's the solution? Liu Chainer said, a little annoyed. Fortunately, the new recruit wasn't exploiting her victory, giving her time to react. There's no solution for now, Hongyan concluded, followed by an irresponsible suggestion. You could try speeding forward to deplete the tracking bullet's energy. Or you could crash to the ground and then move away at the last second, letting the tracking bullet plunge into the ground by inertia. Liu Chainer's face darkened. The first option simply wouldn't work. The tracking bullets were so fast and had such a staggering amount of energy, there was a risk that the mech would use up all its energy and still have some left. The second option was even worse. If the mech didn't dodge in time, it would be hit by the combined force of the crash and the tracking bullets. Why didn't rookie Lin Miaomiao press on? It wasn't that she was being righteous, of course, but she'd discovered a serious problem. The tracking bullets consumed so much energy that her newly replaced level 4 energy card was almost empty. And she'd been so busy playing games that she'd forgotten to refill it. Lin Miaomiao was so stupid that she cried. How could she even have a fun duel? Another wave of attacks and she'd have no choice but to admit defeat, Lin Miaomiao thought helplessly. But the attacks didn't come. Was Liu Chainer also being foolish? One mecha was hesitant to act rashly, while the other was running low on energy, leading to a stalemate between the two sides. This was a waste of time, so Yi Hongwen walked out of the lounge and said, since you're not going to fight anymore, turn off the protective shield. Both of you should come out and don't waste other people's training time. Lin Miaomiao quickly got off the mecha after hearing Yi Hongwen's words. It would be wonderful not to admit defeat. She wasn't a fool. However, just as Lin Miaomiao was about to put away Aoksu, Liu Chainer launched an attack, a laser scattering attack that shocked everyone present. I didn't mean to. Liu Chainer's voice, feigning panic, echoed throughout the training ground. Yi Hongwen panicked and summoned a Black Lotus, but he knew he couldn't make it in time. Despair filled his heart. He was wrong. He shouldn't have asked her to stop. Just as Liu Yifei dialed the infirmary number, something strange happened on the training ground. Aoksu instantly transformed into an umbrella, protecting Lin Miaomiao tightly. Lin Miaomiao was safe. Everyone patted their frightened hearts and looked at the umbrella. Today's mechas are so powerful that they even have the function of automatic master protection. Liu Kaoyer and others didn't care about that. They rushed forward and surrounded Lin Miaomiao to check her. After confirming that she was not injured, Liu Kaoyer hugged her and cried, I was scared to death. Lin Miaomiao, who had not yet reacted, patted her on the back. Don't cry, you are older than me and you have the nerve to hug me and cry. You are so ugly. Fang Licken, who was trying hard to control her tears, said, oh my god, this little bastard deserves a beating. Lin Xianhao, who had been watching his sister fight, stood up and said, Liu Chainer, whether you did it on purpose today or not, your Liu family will have to bear the consequences. Yi Hongwen rarely lost control of his emotions. He hadn't recovered yet and actually stepped forward to knock Liu Chainer to the ground. He said coldly, you will be expelled for deliberately attacking teammates who are not on mechas. This matter will be reported to the Central Legion. No, Liu Chainer said in panic. Yi Hongwen, you can't do this to me. Liu Chainer didn't understand Wen Hao's threat, so she didn't care, but Yi Hongwen's words were clear, which made Liu Chainer unacceptable. Chapter 154 Since you have no intention, I will give up. Liu Chainer's words received no response from Yi Hongwen. He had already dismounted from his mecha and was walking towards Lin Miaomiao. The people surrounding her consciously made way for her. Just as he was about to reach Lin Miaomiao, Yi Hongwen stopped, looked at her coldly, and said, why are you so restless wherever you go? Lin Miaomiao was filled with grief and indignation. She had no idea Aoksu had this ability. At that moment, she truly thought she was going to die again. Now that she was safe, he accused her of being restless. It's not my fault, Lin Miaomiao glared at him unhappily. I didn't initiate the fight, besides, it was because of him that this happened. Lin Miaomiao finally understood what the saying a beautiful man is the root of trouble meant. She had once mocked the original owner for fighting for a man, but now she had done the same thing. What upset her most was that she and the original owner were fighting for the same man. Lin Xianhao ran over, displeased. Yi Hongwen, don't bully my sister. Yi Hongwen pressed his thin lips into a straight line, turned around, and prepared to leave without looking back. Hey, what do you mean by that? Lin Xianhao was a little annoyed. He had only recently found out that Yi Hongwen was his little sister's sweetheart, so he had been cooperating with Yi Hongwen these past few days. Who knew that this guy was so unreliable and always causing trouble for his little sister? Sister, you should find someone else to like. Lin Xianhao turned his head and said to Lin Miaomiao in dissatisfaction. What's there to like about such a cold-hearted person? Lin Xianhao spoke loudly on purpose. Yi Hongwen, who had not yet left the training ground, heard him. He paused slightly, and just when everyone expected him to turn back, he saw him walk away quickly. Liu Kaoyer was also dissatisfied. Miaomiao, hurry back. No matter how good Yi Hongwen is, it's useless. Look, you suffered so much for him and didn't even get a word of comfort. Okay, Lin Miaomiao nodded flatly. People with too cold personalities are just bad. No matter how much you try to warm them up, you can't warm them up, Liu Kaoyer continued. You love to act expressionless. It's not appropriate to find an iceberg again. You should find a sunny and handsome guy, if there's a chance, Lin Miaomiao said casually. Liu Kaoyer wanted to continue persuading her, but Feng Liken said with a wry smile, Kaoyer, shut up. Miaomiao already agreed to it. What are you talking about? What? She agreed to it? Liu Kaoyer hadn't noticed at first. Yu Zixin and the others had heard it long ago, but they didn't care. Liking someone isn't like buying something, you can't just change it whenever you want. Zhang Xingyant suddenly said, Miaomiao, are you serious? Lin Miaomiao nodded. Yes, you all have persuaded me several times, so I agreed. She didn't agree at first because she didn't realize her feelings for Yi Hongwen and just wanted to use him as a ward off other people. Later, she realized it, but because Yi Hongwen was not around, she felt that it didn't matter whether she changed or not. After all, it was just a little bit of love, and it wouldn't affect anything. Until today, Lin Miaomiao suddenly realized that she was about to lose her mind, but he blamed herself for not being quiet, as if his embrace a few days ago was just a dream she had, and everything disappeared when she woke up. Perhaps Yi Hongwen treated her differently these days because she was too noisy. Lin Miaomiao suddenly remembered an ancient poem, If you have no heart, I will give up. Although she did the same stupid thing as the original owner, she would not let herself be too humble. Yi Hongwen has shown it so obviously, then just be quiet as he wishes, at least don't let him hate her. If what you said is true, then please consider me, Zhang Xingyant said shockingly. Lin Miaomiao was stunned, Liu Kaoyer was stunned, even Yu Zixin and others were stunned. I say, what is going on? Is there something wrong with my ears? Yu Zixin couldn't help but yelled, Zhang Xingyant, when did you have other ideas about Miaomiao? Didn't you love Miaomiao so much that you wanted money? Why did Xingyant suddenly confess to him? Liu Kaoyer murmured to herself, could it be that I'm old and can't keep up with the pace of change in the world? You are not alone. Feng Liken felt sympathetic. Why did such a silly boy like Zhang Xingyant hide his thoughts so deeply? Only Zhu Chen suddenly realized, it turns out that it wasn't my illusion. Xingyant, you didn't say it before because of Yao Qian. Zhang Xingyant didn't deny it. In fact, Yao Qian found out a few days ago. It might be because of this that he was so impulsive to find Miaomiao's father to inform on her. He wanted to take a gamble. Damn. You are all so unbrotherly. Yu Zixin was a little unable to accept it. I said why Yao Qian would do such a thing. If he doesn't succeed, he can only quit. Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but smile bitterly. Last time she sent a message to Shi Yao Qian to break up, although she blocked his contact number. If Shi Yao Qian still wanted to find her, there would always be a way, but there has been no movement. It turns out that there is a hidden story. Zhang Xingyant ignored Yu Zixin and just looked at Lin Miaomiao. Miaomiao, can you give me a chance? Lin Miaomiao was silent for a while and said, training time is almost over, it's time to go to dinner? She didn't want to answer this question. Even if she really gave up, it would take time, so she couldn't answer Zhang Xingyant's question. For Zhang Xingyant, the fact that Lin Miaomiao didn't refuse meant there was still hope. After all, Yao Jin had been rejected from the start, so he smiled and said, let's go eat. You've had a scare today, so you need to eat something delicious to calm your nerves. Lin Haoshan, who had just finished contacting his family, squeezed in to see this scene and was immediately stunned. How could there be another wolf among his little sister's friends? A wolf who wanted to take his little sister away. Lin Xianhao looked at Zhang Xingyan critically. He wasn't as handsome or tall as himself, not to mention his mecha pilot level. His only advantage was probably that he had no rivals to challenge him. How could such a man with these three flaws be worthy of his precious sister? Go away, Lin Xianhao said to Zhang Xingyan bluntly. I'll accompany her to dinner. There's no need for you. Zhang Xingyan didn't know Lin Xianhao and looked at him with hostility. What's your relationship with Miaomiao? What gives you the right to say that? Lin Xianhao didn't answer, but simply dragged Lin Miaomiao out. Zhang Xingyan tried to stop him. Although Yu Zixin was shocked by his friend's concealment, he couldn't bear to see him offend Lin Xianhao, and hurriedly pulled him and said, No, he is Miaomiao's elder brother. Zhang Xingyan frowned and said unhappily, How could he be Miaomiao's elder brother? Don't try to lie to me. Who lied to you? Yu Zixin also felt unhappy. If you don't believe me, ask Zhu Chen. Zhang Xingyan turned his head to look at Zhu Chen, and saw Zhu Chen nodded affirmatively. Then he believed it, but he was still very confused. Why isn't Miaomiao's elder brother surnamed Lin? Is he not a relative? How is that possible, when Hao is just his alias? I heard that he wanted to hide the fact that he graduated from the nail department. Yu Zixin rolled his eyes at him and said thankfully, Fortunately, brother Hao is gone, otherwise you will never appear next to Miaomiao in the future. Zhang Xingyan was silent. He remembered that when Hao was still a nail technician in the fleet, it seemed that the eldest brother of the Lin family was not very successful in hiding his identity. Chapter 155, Crystal Pirates. As expected, Liu Chainer was expelled from the fleet. Her misdeeds were so egregious that she was stripped of her military membership by the Central Corps. Worse still, when she returned to the Liu family on Hanhei Star, she received not comfort from her family but news of her expulsion from the clan. With tears in her eyes, her mother transferred her some credit points. Chainer, take care of yourself from now on. I can't help you anymore. She's too soft-hearted, her father raged. She's ruined our family. She even dared to offend the eldest daughter of the Lin family from a Lulin star. How could she not be so ruthless? Only then did Liu Chainer truly feel fear. Lulin star, while only fifth in size within the Federation, was second only to Shaolin star in power. Lin Miaomiao, in fact, came from a prominent Lulin family. The Lin family possessed wealth and power, far more than the Liu family, with its modest means, could contend with. Liu Chainer knew the Lin family wouldn't let her off easily. She needed a strong backer. With this in mind, she packed her things and prepared to depart for Shaolin Star, a place of power and influence. After boarding the interstellar passenger ship, Liu Chainer silently thought about what to do after arriving at Shaolin Star, but she couldn't calm down because there was a noisy young couple behind her. Xiao Jiu, you have to be sweet-talking when you get to my house. My mother is not satisfied with your background. If she is not satisfied with you, we are done. Kang Yu kept on talking. Long Jiu nodded absent-mindedly. I know, if my dad says something unpleasant, you have to endure it. You can't talk back or ignore what he says, otherwise we will break up. Kang Yu continued to explain. Yet, Long Jiu continued to nod. He didn't even want to say anything. Hey, what do you mean by that? You're just being so perfunctory, Kang Yu said unhappily. I'm telling you this for both of our sakes. Don't forget you grew up in an orphanage. How can my parents be at peace if you don't behave? Long Jiu grumbled. Since they're not happy, and you don't even care, why are you still insisting? If Kang Yu hadn't insisted, Long Jiu wouldn't have wanted to go to Shaolin Star. It would have been a waste of time to be humiliated. He'd be better off working a few more days to earn credit points to cover his living expenses for the next school year. It's because you have a pretty face. Otherwise, given your situation, I wouldn't be interested in you, Kang Yu said with a pout. This wasn't empty talk. Long Jiu had an androgynous face that made many girls jealous. Even when he went out to work, he was often harassed. He kept switching jobs until he finally found stability as a waiter at the Lin Star Hotel, where guests were strictly prohibited from harassing employees. Kang Yu is Long Jiu's classmate. She loves all things beautiful. Ever since she fell in love with Long Jiu's face, she has been determined to get him. Even though she has no shortage of money, she still works part-time with him. Thanks to Kang Yu's unremitting efforts, Long Jiu accepted her. Even when Kang Yu later showed some temper, Long Jiu didn't care. After all, it was normal for girls to have a little temper. That is until Kang Yu said she would take him back to Shaoxing to meet her parents. Long Jiawei sighed, Yu, if your family really can't accept this, let's break up. Don't even think about it, Kang Yu screamed. Long Jiawei, you can't be a heartless man. Liu Chainer, who was listening in front, became impatient and turned back to scold. Can you shut up? You're like an old hen, clucking non-stop. Kang Yu was already unhappy, and when she heard this, she exploded like a lit firecracker. I can talk when I want to. It's none of your business, don't you know you're disturbing others? Liu Chainer roared, not wanting to be outdone. Kang Yu was furious. She unbuckled her seatbelt and was about to slap Liu Chainer twice. Liu Chainer would never let her succeed. After stopping her, she slapped Kang Yu twice in the face. Long Jiawei, you are a dead man. Why don't you help me? Kang Yu shouted, covering her face. Yu, Long Jiawei frowned and said, forget it. It was our fault in the first place. Kang Yu was not willing to accept this. Just as she was about to scold Long Jiawei, the interstellar passenger ship suddenly shook violently and tilted 45 degrees. Although it quickly returned to normal, there was still a commotion in the passenger cabin. They had never encountered such a situation before. Could something have happened? Soon, the central broadcasting station sounded, and a calm, middle-aged male voice announced, Ladies and gentlemen, I am Captain Tang Wei of the Pingan. Our passenger ship has unfortunately encountered interstellar pirates and is requesting assistance from the nearby patrol fleet. As a precaution, please proceed to the escape pods and await rescue. Upon learning of the encounter with interstellar pirates, the passengers in the passenger cabin were already in chaos. Upon hearing they were supposed to leave, they rushed to the escape pods. No matter how the crew members tried to reassure them, everyone ignored them. In the chaos, vulnerable people like the elderly, the sick, and the disabled were shoved to the back, some even thrown to the ground. For a moment, cries, shouts, and clamor filled the cabin, and the crew members sweated profusely, all in vain. Although Liu Chainer had been expelled from the army, she still had her skills. She quickly sprinted out of the passenger cabin and sped towards the escape pod. Once there, she realized she had arrived relatively early, as she was the only other person there, the annoying couple she had argued with earlier. You run pretty fast, but it's a pity that you're so annoying. Kang Yu looked at Liu Chainer with disdain. Liu Chainer didn't bother to pay attention to her and found an escape pod to lie in. There were limited escape pods, so she had to grab a spot early. You're still ignoring me. Kang Yu stamped her feet in dissatisfaction, and wanted to go forward to cause trouble, but was stopped by Long Jiawei. Everyone will be here soon, aren't you afraid that all the escape pods will be snatched away? Long Jiawei said. Kang Yu thought about it and it made sense, so she quickly found an escape pod and lay in it, then blamed the escape pod next to her and said, You get in this, we'll escape in one direction later, hurry up, we have to set off early, otherwise we won't be able to escape when the pirates attack. Long Jiawei hesitated for a while. Let's wait and see, haven't we notified the patrol fleet to come to the rescue? Don't think about it, the rescue will always arrive last, it's important to escape quickly. Kang Yu had no hope for the rescue fleet. Kang Yu's father also served in a central core fleet. He'd heard that some fleets, upon receiving a call for assistance, would set it aside, waiting for the pirates to flee before pretending to rush to their aid. This way, they could claim to be providing assistance without sacrificing fleet strength. Although this was between Milulan and Shaoxing Star, and the patrolling fleet was more powerful, who knew if they would be passive and slack? Kang Yu didn't dare gamble her life on that. Long Jiawei had no idea what was going on in Kang Yu's mind, but at Kang Yu's urging, he still laid down in the lifeboat, entered the coordinates Kang Yu had given him, and pressed the start button. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 156 The Fat Sheep Delivered to the Door. Shortly after Kang Yu and the other two launched their escape pods, Liu Chainer also activated hers. Hearing the fierce girl's words, Liu Chainer felt uneasy. Having served in the Central Corps herself, she was well aware of the patrol fleet's situation. Sometimes it wasn't the fleet's desire to delay a rescue, but rather the message from headquarters arriving too late. Judging from their current coordinates, this should be an area patrolled by the Central Corps, so rescue wouldn't be that fast. However, Liu Chainer hadn't anticipated that a captain, feeling down, had taken the fleet out for a stroll and happened to be nearby. After receiving the call for help, they rushed over in less than 10 minutes. The Pingan passenger ship belonged to the Tang family, one of the four great families of Shaoyin Star. Although it was only a small passenger craft, its defenses were formidable, and it was no problem for it to hold out until reinforcements arrived. The captain had ordered the passengers to the escape pods simply as a precaution. By then, the Crystal Pirates had received word of the approaching military fleet. Ren Wufeng, the pirate leader, asked, cigarette in hand, "Do you know which fleet these reinforcements are from?" Xiao reported, "It's the Shenaiyu fleet," replied Shihu, the second in command. "No wonder they arrived so quickly," Ren Wufeng said, a little irritated. "Tisk, we finally managed to dodge those damn patrol fleets and come here to hunt for a few fat sheep, only to run into this battlefield sweeping fleet that's been so desperate for merit lately." Shihu, unwilling to listen to his boss's complaints, asked directly, "What do we do now? Continue the attack or retreat?" "Of course we retreat. We only have our main ship, and the Shenaiyu fleet now has 2 warships. How can we defeat them?" Ren Wufeng said grumpily. "Damn, what bad luck, we're going to return empty-handed again," Shihu grumbled. "Don't mention it again. If you effect the next operation, I'll give you a beating," Ren Wufeng said fiercely. He hadn't robbed any fat sheep during this period. Maybe it was Shihu's curse. Thinking of Shihu's bad premonition before he left, Ren Wufeng suddenly felt itchy. He wanted to beat him up. What should he do? Action is worse than thought. Just as Ren Wufeng was about to make a move, one of his men suddenly shouted excitedly, "Boss, we found 3 escape pods and they are rushing towards us. Do you want to catch them?" Ren Wufeng was stunned. Then he jumped up and slapped the man on the head. "You idiot, do you even need to ask? Catch them quickly." Shihu clasped his hands together. "God, you finally opened your eyes and let the fat sheep come to your door automatically, Pa." Ren Wufeng also slapped him. "That's because I'm lucky. God has nothing to do with it." Ren Wufeng felt more and more that the second brother was not worthy of being on the stage. Why was he so blind to recognize him as a brother? He is not as calm as the third brother. "Oh, big brother is so wise and brave, and we brothers are so lucky," Shihu flattered dryly. He just felt that his big brother was getting more and more childish, and no matter what good things happened, he thought it was just his good luck. The escape pod was captured, and Ren Wufeng unwillingly asked his men to fire another supersonic missile at the Ping and passenger ship, and then ordered to return. "Just think of it as I am in a good mood today and let these fat sheep go once. I won't let them get away so easily next time," Ren Wufeng said painfully. "You have to let them go even if you don't want to. Why are you talking so nicely?" Shihu complained in his heart. "Brother, let's go and take a look at the 3 escape pods. I hope they are fat sheep with rich wealth," Shihu said. "They must be fat sheep. Don't you know that the richer people are, the more they fear death?" Ren Wufeng said, confident in his luck. "If their families don't pay 1,000,000 credit points to ransom them, I definitely won't let them go." Shihu didn't hold out much hope, but he couldn't argue. He could only silently pray that they caught a fat sheep, or else his eldest brother would take it out on him again. As it turned out, Ren Wufeng's luck wasn't very good. The people in the 3 escape pods were all fat sheep. One was an orphan, one was a poor wretch recently kicked out of his home, and the last, though his family lived in the imperial capital, was a parasite living with relatives. "Second brother, you're such a bad mouth. Every time you say something good it doesn't work, but it always works badly." Ren Wufeng was really angry. He grabbed Shihu and slapped him a few times. After that, he said with a sullen face, "Go to the basement and reflect on your mistakes for half a month." Shihu pleaded for mercy with a bitter face. "Brother, please spare me. I was just saying it casually. I didn't expect it to be so unlucky." The energy lights in the basement were broken. After reflecting in there for half a month, he would definitely go crazy. "No," Ren Wufeng was very angry and didn't give him a chance to plead. "Then reduce the reflection time," Shihu bargained. "No," Ren Wufeng said, indicating that he was firm. Shihu was about to accept his fate, but his eyes glanced at the prisoners and his heart moved. These 3 people were good-looking, especially the boy. Maybe this time he wouldn't lose out. "Boss," Shihu said excitedly, "we won't lose money. Look at that boy, he's so handsome. Doesn't the boss of Hishifeng like him? We can sell him to him at a high price." Ren Wufeng slapped his thigh. "How could I forget about this? Looking at his face, isn't he the material for being a male concubine? As for the other two, just stay in the group to entertain the brothers. Long Jiuwei, who had been very quiet since being captured, turned pale. He thought that if he kept quiet, he wouldn't suffer too much, but he didn't expect things to turn out like this. Long Jiuwei didn't want to be a male concubine, so he forced himself to be calm and said, "Wait, I'm a mecha master. If possible, I hope to join you." Kang Yu and Liu Chainer's eyes lit up, and they also rushed to say, "I'm also a mecha master. I can help you." "Wow, we're lucky today. We actually caught all mecha masters," Ren Wufang grinned. However, their pirate group was too small to support so many mech pilots, nor could they keep them under guard. It was better to sell them off, they could earn a lot of credit points. With this in mind, Ren Wufang excitedly instructed Shihu to contact He Xiafeng, say there's a big deal for 3 beautiful mech pilots. After casually locking the 3 captives in a room, Ren Wufang took Shihu to negotiate a deal with the He Xiafeng pirate group. Long Jiuwei was disheartened that his mech pilot status didn't change the other party's mind, but instead became a greater bargaining chip. He became even more despairing, and even more desperate, when Kang Yu, realizing the outcome of the sale couldn't be reversed, began to resent him. "It's all your fault. If I hadn't wanted to take you home to see my parents, I would have returned to Shaoyin Star long ago. How could I have had the misfortune to encounter pirates?" Kang Yu accused sharply. "You must find a way to get me out." Liu Chainer sneered, "You idiot, if you hadn't urged him to activate the escape pod, how could he have been captured?" Liu Chainer was certainly not standing up for Long Jiuwei, but she felt that it was Kang Yu who had dragged her down to this point. However, it was difficult to accuse her directly, so she could only make indirect sarcasm. Kang Yu, however, didn't think it was her fault at all. She was furious after being ridiculed, and started to quarrel with Liu Chainer again. Long Jiuwei sat quietly on the floor, thinking about whether there was a way to get out. At least he didn't want to be a male concubine. Chapter 157 Extra Meal. At the Shenaiyu Fleet's base, Lin Miaomiao and the others were carrying out their daily training. The only difference was that nearly half the group was missing today. Lin Miaomiao had been training hard these past few days to keep up with the others. Today, she finally caught up and had time to listen to their conversation. "I heard the captain took the veterans for a walk today," Liu Kaoyer said enviously. "We train every day, and we never know when we'll get to go out for a walk. We'll probably have to wait for the big missions. The veterans can handle the small ones easily," Yu Zixin said, a little frustrated. "Actually, I think the small missions should be used for us to practice. Come on, with your current fitness, even a small mission would be life-threatening," Liu Yifei said with a smile. Even Lin Miaomiao was upset. "Are our fitness levels that low?" Liu Yifei nodded solemnly. Because of gravity, combat in space was even more physically demanding. With a new recruit's current fitness, they could operate a mecha for several hours on land, but in space, half an hour might be the limit. How could they possibly complete a mission in just half an hour? "I have made great sacrifices to supervise your training," Liu Yifei complained, "but I heard from Luo Cheng that they are carrying out a rescue mission and can also suppress bandits by the way. Then I really wronged you." Lin Miaomiao glanced at him sideways. It's good that you know." Liu Yifei rubbed the back of his head and smiled foolishly. "Miaomiao, I've wronged you so much, shouldn't you compensate me?" Lin Miaomiao asked in surprise. "How?" "Actually, my request is very simple. You can cook a few snacks yourself tonight." Liu Yifei looked at her expectantly. "Besides, the people who go out on missions are very tired and need to replenish their energy when they come back. The meals cooked by robots can't satisfy everyone's stomachs at all." "How could that be?" "The meals cooked by robots are very nutritious." Zhang Xingyang jumped in to defend Lin Miaomiao. "Miaomiao, it would be very tiring to cook for so many people by herself." "Absolutely not." Liu Yifei was unhappy. "Miaomiao hasn't even refused yet. What are you doing jumping around here? You're too idle, aren't you? Go run 10 more laps for me." This guy had said he wanted to pursue Lin Miaomiao. He actually wanted to steal our boss's girl. It's really unforgivable. Liu Yifei remembered when he had said in front of Yi Hongwen that Lin Miaomiao had a new suitor, and Yi Hongwen's cold face suddenly turned ashen, and he felt very uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, Liu Yifei wasn't complaining on Yi Hongwen's behalf, but on his own. He'd been blatantly angered and had received a good beating from Yi Hongwen. What infuriated him the most was that the boss only hit him in the face, leaving him with bruises all over his face and not allowing him to use the treatment device. "I've completed my mission today," Zhang Xingyan said anxiously. "You can't use public power to settle personal grudges," Liu Yifei said proudly. "I'm just using public power to settle personal grudges. What can you do to me? Hurry up and run. You won't be allowed to eat until you finish running." Zhang Xingyan really couldn't do anything to Liu Yifei, so he could only reluctantly do the punishment run. Everyone waved their hands at him sympathetically. "Go with peace of mind, Zhang Xingyan. Can we still be good friends?" After dealing with Zhang Xingyan perfectly, Liu Yifei went up to Lin Miaomiao and pestered her again. "Okay, Miaomiao, just agree to me this time." No one came to stop him. It was not because they were afraid of being punished by running away, but because the food made by the robots was nutritious enough, but the taste was really the same. At school, he could go out for a bite every now and then, but in the fleet, it was not possible. He could not go out without asking for leave. Yuzixin and the others looked at Lin Miaomiao eagerly. "How about, Miaomiao, you go and cook 2 dishes later?" Lin Miaomiao was speechless. It seemed she had no choice but to agree, so she looked at Yuzixin. "Okay, but I need to go to the kitchen early to arrange for the robots to prepare the ingredients so we don't delay dinner." "No problem," Liu Yifei agreed without hesitation. "You can go now. We've already completed our training for today." Lin Miaomiao nodded and was about to go to the kitchen when she suddenly stopped. With a blank expression, she looked at Liu Yifei and asked, "Who hit you in the face?" Liu Yifei was struck by lightning. Was it really okay to gossip with such a solemn expression? Faced with Lin Miaomiao's insistent gaze, Liu Yifei gave in to the truth, saying, "The boss beat me up." Liu Yifei expected Lin Miaomiao to continue to inquire about the reason, but she just stared blankly, then turned and walked away. Is this because she doesn't want to hear about the boss? Liu Yifei suddenly smiled slyly. A good sign. Lin Miaomiao was oblivious to Liu Yifei's chaotic thoughts. She had already arrived at the fleet's main kitchen, familiar with the place as she went there daily to get her meals. Dinner was due at 11:30, so even though it was only 10:30, the 2 robots in the mess hall were already busy washing and chopping vegetables. Seeing someone enter before the meal even started, number 1's electronic eyes flashed. "Soldier Lin Miaomiao, it's not time for dinner yet." "I know," Lin Miaomiao replied. "I'm here to help in the kitchen on orders from the instructor. He asked me to make 2 dishes for everyone." Number 1, a robot, lacked human emotions and simply replied, "Understood." The ingredients were plentiful in the space button Yi Hongwen had sent, so Lin Miaomiao didn't ask number 1 for more. She simply pulled out a large amount of wild boar meat, wild beef, pickled mustard greens, and white radish from the space button. The snack was mainly meat-based. The 3 robots in the kitchen all had work to do, so Lin Miaomiao didn't ask for their help and simply let Lolly out. Steamed pork with rice flour, braised pork with preserved vegetables, and stewed beef with radish. That's what Lin Miaomiao wanted to make. The steamed pork with rice flour wasn't spicy, the braised pork with preserved vegetables had a hint of sweetness, and the stewed beef with radish had plenty of chili peppers. All 3 of these dishes were Lin Miaomiao's personal favorites. Since there were so many people, it wouldn't be easy to ask everyone's preferences, so she just cook according to her own preferences. Lin Miaomiao thought irresponsibly. At 11:15, Lin Miaomiao's 3 dishes were ready. Since she'd cooked them herself, she unceremoniously grabbed bowls and filled them with food for herself and her roommates to avoid a long queue. Since she hadn't cooked any vegetables herself, Lin Miaomiao went to number 1 to get some. No. 1 didn't stop her, but happily joined number 2 and number 3 to watch the lolly. A new friend had arrived, they had to get to know each other. At 11:30, a large crowd suddenly swarmed into the cafeteria. They'd heard there was a snack, and it was delicious robot-cooked dishes, so they lined up at the door. It wasn't easy to change your taste in the fleet. Because there were too many people, the 3 robots in the kitchen were overwhelmed, so Lolly enthusiastically ran to help. Lin Miaomiao didn't stop her. It was necessary to build a good relationship with the robots in the cafeteria so that they could cook for themselves in the future. Seeing that the dishes she cooked were crowded with people, and there was no limit on the amount of food, everyone was asking for more. If this continued, those who were on the mission would not be able to get a snack. Lin Miaomiao hesitated for a moment, then took out a large, multi-layered lunchbox with a lid from the space button and filled it to the brim. She was not leaving it for some annoying guy. Her eldest brother was also going on a mission, so she had to leave some for him. Chapter 158, Chasing into the Pirate Lair. While the people staying at the Shenyu Fleet's base savored their delicious snacks, Yi Hongwen, who had accepted the rescue mission, was still pursuing the phantom pirates. By the time the Shenyu arrived near the Ping'an passenger ship, the pirates had already fled. Seeing that the ship's defenses had not been breached, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they had arrived just in time. However, Yi Hongwen still connected to the Ping'an passenger ship's video link to confirm the safety of the passengers on board and to see if there was anything they could help with. Meanwhile, the captain of the Ping'an passenger ship, Tang Wei, was organizing the crew to take a list of the wounded and check the number of people. Many people were injured in the initial stampede, but fortunately, no one died. Soon, the situation of the passengers on the passenger ship was sorted out. Tang Wei took the list and read out, the Ping'an passenger ship carried a total of 472 passengers, of whom 23 were seriously injured, 119 were slightly injured, and 3 were missing. Tang Wei's face instantly turned bad. How could someone be missing? No pirates have landed on the passenger ship. Deputy Captain Tang Sankei was also helpless. No pirates have landed, but they can leave by themselves. I just checked the records. Shortly after the captain informed the passengers that they encountered pirates, 3 escape capsules were activated, and the target seemed to be in the direction of Shaoyin Star. Nonsense! How can the energy in the escape capsule be enough to last to Shaoyin Star? Tang Wei was furious. The passenger ship has not yet broken through the defense, and our escape signal has not been sent out. Are they so anxious to die? Yi Hongwen frowned. If he had time to shirk responsibility here, he might as well go to the nearby barren planets to look for them. These barren planets are not suitable places to live. If he goes too late, I'm afraid he won't be able to find anyone. He immediately summoned Luo Chang and instructed them to take 30 or 40 men and search for the nearby desolate planet. Luo Chang obeyed, and Tang Wei, realizing his actions had been somewhat inappropriate, hurriedly addressed Yi Hongwen. Thank you for your fleet's help. Once the people are rescued, the Tang family will reward you handsomely. If the guests were missing, the reputation of the Ping'an passenger ship would suffer an unprecedented blow, and rivals would undoubtedly try to exploit their misfortune and seize the route. That's our duty, Yi Hongwen protested. If it's convenient, Captain Tang, please review the Ping'an passenger ship's surveillance footage and determine the exact landing location of the escape pod. Okay, Tang Wei replied awkwardly, feeling somewhat out of control. He was even less composed than the young captain, barely 30, who was standing opposite him. After some self-reflection, Tang Wei finally regained his composure and reviewed the surveillance footage with the passenger ship's captain and co-pilot. A few minutes later, a co-pilot excitedly exclaimed, "We've found it." Tang Wei perked up immediately, turned the video to the main screen. Okay, wait a moment. The main screen instantly split in two, revealing a stern Yi Hongwen on one side and 3 escape pods on the other. The pods were now rapidly exiting the passenger ship, hurtling towards Shaoyin Star. However, perhaps due to bad luck, they soon encountered a pirate warship and were captured by several level 4 mechas. Tang Wei fell silent. With the pirates abducting them, recovering them would be difficult. The Tang family was doomed. Yi Hongwen was also silent for a long time before he said, "It's the Crystal Pirates." A large, colorful crystal emblem on the ship's hull spoke volumes about the pirates' identity. They've been gone a long time. I'm afraid they can't be rescued, Tang Wei said dejectedly. Yi Hongwen said coldly, "We know where the Crystal Pirates are based. We can just attack them." The Shenyu fleet had received relatively few missions in the past 2 years, so Yi Hongwen and his men had been searching for pirate hideouts nearby. When they had free time, they would suppress the pirates, generating revenue for the fleet and making their presence felt. So, knowing the Crystal Pirates' location wasn't surprising. The Crystal Pirates were considered one of the larger pirate groups in the area. Yi Hongwen had previously refrained from attacking them because he was too weak and unsure of victory. Now that the fleet had grown, it was time to find trouble. Having made up his mind, Yi Hongwen summoned Luo Cheng and the others. Perhaps the phrase "darkness under the lamp" referred to the Crystal Pirates' situation, as they were based on a derelict planet not far from Shaoyin Star, a harsh environment. Once, it had been a prosperous planet. On the way to the Crystal Pirates' location, Luo Cheng excitedly informed Liu Yifei of their planned expedition, intending to show off, as Liu Yifei had been constantly clamoring to wipe out the crystal pirates. However, Luo Cheng's boasting didn't earn him the envy and jealousy of his friends. Instead, it earned him a few photos, one of an overflowing bowl of meat, another of a long line in the kitchen, and the last of Lin Miaomiao standing in the corner of the kitchen, watching the little girl serve herself some food. Damn. Those newbies actually added extra food while we were away, Luo Cheng complained discontentedly. By the time we get back from suppressing the bandits, they'll probably have been completely ruined. Wu Xin, who was standing next to him, raged. They're so rude. They should have waited until we got back before adding extra food. Luo Cheng rolled his eyes. Stop trying to act like you're so kind. I'm kind, aren't I? Wu Xin grumbled. I hope they'll be kind and leave us some. Luo Cheng had given up hope. Seeing how frantically they were serving food, even a little leftover soup would be nice for them to mix with their rice. Yi Hongwen frowned coldly and said, don't just focus on eating. We're almost to the waste planet. Be careful. The two men, instantly sobered from their delicious meals, replied in unison, got it. After entering the waste planet, the captain's cabin bustled into action. They knew the crystal pirate's lair was there, but they didn't know their exact location. Last time, fearing alerting the enemy, they didn't follow too closely, only watching from afar as the pirates' warships entered the ocean. The crystal pirate's leader is quite clever. He's come up with a way to conceal their presence. Who would have thought the colorful crystals and other decorations on their warships are removable? Luo Cheng exclaimed. After robbing an uninhabited planet, they stripped the warship's exterior decorations and added whatever they wanted. It's like an ordinary private warship, isn't it? Since noticing this situation, the sunken moon fleet has discreetly placed small surveillance satellites outside the waste planet, allowing them to receive notification and sabotage the crystal pirates as soon as they make a move. As a result, Ren Wufang feels bad luck whenever he hears of the sunken moon fleet. Captain, asked Zhao Cheng, the captain, are we really going to take action against the phantom crystal pirates this time? Before Yi Hongwen could reply, Li Yingji chimed in, of course we are. We've already entered a derelict planet. The phantom crystals have probably figured out their base has been exposed. If we don't destroy them this time, they'll be on the run tomorrow, Zhao Cheng said unhappily. I'm asking the captain, not you. Just stay away. What's so great about that? He's just relying on his battleship skills. I'll go to the battleship piloting academy someday, Li Yingji muttered unhappily. Hurry up and learn. When you're done, I'll give you my seat. Zhao Cheng rolled his eyes at him, as if he really thought battleships were that easy to pilot. Li Yingji chuckled. He was just saying it casually, being a mecha pilot was more comfortable. Yi Hongwen, however, gave Li Yingji a sidelong glance. Since he had volunteered, going to the battleship piloting academy wasn't out of the question. The fleet needed to train a few pilots anyway. Chapter 159 Domineering Big Sister. Yi Hongwen, searching for the pirate's lair, was unaware that the members of the Crystal Pirates who had gone out on a robbery mission hadn't returned. It was Ren Wufeng, desperate to earn credit points, who had hurriedly negotiated a deal with the Black Evil Wind's leader, rushing to deliver the goods without even returning to his own lair. The Shen Yu arrogantly searched the air for the pirate's lair, while at the Crystal Pirates base, Ren Wufeng's wife, Ai Qing, stared sullenly at the surveillance screen. Big sister, shouldn't we pack up and leave? Asked Liang Shenqiang, the third in command. Why are you so anxious? The waste planet is so big, it won't be easy to find us in a short time. Ai Qing flatly refused, her mood sour. Why don't you quickly contact that dead man Ren Wufeng and tell him about a big catch, a catch from bringing a warship home? Liang Shenqian quietly walked away to contact the leader. He didn't dare speak up for the leader when the leader was furious. After finally getting through to Ren Wufeng's video call, Liang Shenqiang barely had a chance to say anything before Ren Wufeng angrily demanded, "Why are you calling me? Don't you know I'm busy right now?" The call was mercilessly disconnected with a thud. Liang Shenqian burst into tears. He was officially the third in command of the pirate group, but he wasn't even given a chance to say a word. Such a disrespectful attitude. Dejected, Liang Shenqian approached Ai Qing, about to complain, when Ai Qing glared at him with a domineering expression. Did Ren Wufeng say when he'd be back? No, Liang Shenqiang replied honestly. Boss, he was about to report that boss didn't know what was going on here, but Ai Qing interrupted him. What? That dead man didn't even care about his family? Ai Qing was shocked and furious. The best members of the Crystal Pirates had been taken away by Ren Wufeng. Those left behind were mostly the elderly, the weak, the sick, and the disabled. There weren't even 100 men capable of fighting. How about we retreat? Liang Shenqiang said weakly. Ai Qing was getting impatient. Retreat, 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 is that all you can say? Then let me ask you, the warship is searching outside, do you have any way to evacuate without alerting the warship? Liang Shenqiang's eyes widened, as if there really was no way. The warship was so big, and whether it had a stealth function or not, it would become a target once it took off. What should we do? Liang Shenqiang was anxious like an ant on a hot pot. Don't worry, Ai Qing said unhappily, hurry up and urge Ren Wufeng to come back. Oh, and ask someone to invite Uncle Hao and Uncle Chu to come and discuss countermeasures. Liang Shenqiang responded and went to work. Ai Qing leaned back in her chair dejectedly, and a sense of desolation suddenly rose in her heart. Ever since her father and several uncles passed away in an accident, her husband took over the position of the head of the group, and the strength of the Crystal Pirates has been declining. A powerful mecha master refused to obey Ren Wufeng and defected to another pirate group. The only two uncles left were squeezed out and relegated to the second line. Even the safe and comfortable base was snatched away by the old rival. Now, the fantasy Crystal Pirates, who were forced to live in a deserted planet, are finally facing a catastrophe? Dad has been wise and brave all his life. How can his vision in choosing a son-in-law be so miserable? Ai Qing murmured to herself. Ren Wufeng was reluctant to answer the call. Uncle Hao and Uncle Chu heard that it was related to the life and death of the pirate group, so they quickly rushed over. Qing girl, what's going on? How did the warship find this place? Uncle Hao was straightforward and asked directly, is it the kid Ren Wufeng who caused trouble again? Uncle Chu hurriedly shouted, "Ah Hao, don't talk nonsense, after all, he is Qing girl's husband. Even if he has this doubt in his heart, he still has to give him the face he deserves." Ai Qing, however, didn't care. Uncle Chu, it's okay. Everyone knows this anyway, you've suffered so much, Uncle Chu sighed. Your father was foolish at the time. He didn't want you to suffer, so he found you a powerful husband. Who knew he'd end up with such a domineering one? Ai Qing agreed. Uncle Chu, you're right. I actually think I can lead everyone well, but it's too late to say anything now. That won't happen. Uncle Hao's eyes suddenly lit up. I think today is a crisis, but also a good opportunity, as long as you're willing. What do you mean, Uncle Hao? Ai Qing's eyes showed a hint of hesitation. Of course, we're taking the opportunity to seize power, Uncle Hao said with a look of "you're so stupid." If Ren Wufeng refuses to come back at this time, everyone will definitely have a lot of opinions. Even the brothers he took with him will probably resent him. As long as we successfully protect everyone, why worry about not being able to take back power? This time, Uncle Chu didn't raise any objections. Since Qing girl herself was willing, there was no need for them to endure it. Let's gather everyone together and announce the current situation. As long as we want to survive, everyone has to contribute, Uncle Chu suggested. Also, keep contacting Ren Wufeng and urge him to come back. We have no confidence of winning against the warship, so let him go head-to-head with the warship. Okay, I'll contact him myself. Ai Qing had a hot temper to begin with. She had been excluded and suppressed by Ren Wufeng for so long that she had long disliked Ren Wufeng. Naturally, she was willing to do so when she heard this. Ai Qing contacted Ren Wufeng personally, and Ren Wufeng had no choice but to answer the call, his voice piercing with impatience. What's so urgent? Can't you wait until I get back? Ai Qing raged. Wait for you to come back and collect our bodies? You knew warships were coming, yet you refused to return immediately. What are you thinking? Ren Wufeng, having just closed a big deal, tensed. What? Warships attacking our base? How could this happen? Ai Qing sneered. Ask yourself. You just boasted about capturing a few valuable mech operators, and now warships are coming. You're doing well in business. I'm telling you, return immediately, or else the base is finished, and you'll be in trouble as boss. Without waiting for Ren Wufeng's reply, Ai Qing hung up the call. The base wasn't just staffed by the elderly, the sick, and the disabled, it also included skilled personnel like armorers and card makers. Without them, the Crystal Pirates would be doomed. Ren Wufeng was well aware of this, so he immediately ordered the warship's pilot to return. However, he also kept a cautious eye on the situation, instructing his surveillance officer, if the number of warships is too large, flee. Technical personnel could be found, but if that proved to be a problem, surrendering to the larger fleets would be the end of their lives. After entering the abandoned planet, the surveillance personnel reported that there were only 2 warships, the troublesome Shenyu fleet. Ren Wufang was immediately enraged. Go ahead and beat them up. It's fine they'll ruin our plans, but they dared to invade our base with just 2 lousy warships, Ren Wufang sneered. Since they're here, don't go back. Upon hearing this, the pirates cheered and opened fire on the warships. A truly impressive display of skill. The main ship, the Phantom Crystal, and its 2 secondary ships attacked the Shenyu fleet. Combined with the 2 warships stationed at the base, Ren Wufang believed victory was assured. However, he had no idea that while they were engaged in combat with the Shenyu fleet, Ai Qing had quietly taken the remaining troops and relocated the 2 warships. Because the male protagonist is so bad, he got rid of several people. Thank you all for your continued support. There will be 5 updates today. Chapter 160 Let the Pirate Go and Let Me Take Over. As the 3 warships of the Crystal Phantom pirates charged in, the moon-sinking fleet was nearly on the verge of detecting their lair. Seeing the enemy approaching, Yi Hongwen unhesitatingly ordered the cannons to fire. The Federation's top-tier superluminal quantum radiation cannon, which the moon-sinking fleet had purchased at a significant cost 2 months prior and had never been used, fired its first salvo. The Crystal Phantom pirates, unprepared for the new weaponry, were immediately struck with a significant blow. The warship's intelligence immediately sounded an alarm. Attention! The Crystal Phantom's shielding has been damaged by 10%. Fuck, Ren Wufang cursed. When did the moon-sinking fleet install such a powerful energy cannon? Get out of the way, the moon-sinking fleet cheered relentlessly. The new weapon seemed quite effective, and the fleet's investment in credits was well worth it. Great! We'll definitely wipe out the Crystal Phantom pirates' lair today, Luo Cheng said, his eyes red with excitement. Hurry up and beat them up. Afterwards, we'll go home for dinner. I wonder if those bastards left me some steamed pork with rice flour, Wu Xin thought, still craving her lunchtime snack. Can't you be more ambitious? Luo Cheng glared at him with disdain. Just take down the Phantom Crystal, raid their base, find some girls-friendly treasures here and give them to Miaomiao. It would be easy enough to get her to give you some special favors, Wu Xin gaped. You can do that, of course you don't even know how to please a girl. Learn from now on, Luo Cheng said smugly. Yi Hongwen said coldly, shut up. Instead of showing off here, why don't you take the men out to fight the pirates? The Phantom Crystal pirates' warships were suffering increasing damage, leaving them powerless to fight back. The Shenyu fleet had also depleted most of its energy. Yi Hongwen, fearing that there might be more fleets back at the Phantom Crystal base, prepared to deploy his mechas. The battle would then be decided in mechas. Understood, Luo Cheng said with a playful grin, running to the adjacent mech crew's lounge to call for help. The 2 warships, Shenyu, numbered over 100 men in total. Besides the 10 pilots, 7 or 8 medical personnel, and about 20 technicians specializing in ship and mecha repairs, there were also over 70 mecha operators. By this point, nearly all the mecha operators had been dispatched, surging towards the Crystal Pirates' main ship, intent on forcing a boarding. Seeing this, the Crystal Pirates' mecha operators also dispatched. Their number was more than double that of the Shenyu's. The melee between the 2 sides was so intense that it was almost impossible to tell which side was on which side. Now we can finally see the special purpose of those little overhead lights, Li Yingji complained on the team chat. The mechas all looked similar, making it difficult to tell who was on the same side during a melee. In the past, there had even been incidents of members fighting each other. To distinguish them, each fleet had a small, brightly lit light bulb atop their mechas. The Shenyu fleet's tiny light bulbs were a laughingstock for the Central Corps. Even the Shenyu fleet members grumbled, finding them ridiculous. However, on the battlefield, such conspicuous bulbs proved incredibly useful. During a fight, there was no need to pay close attention. A quick glance would tell them, hey, that one with a light bulb is one of us. Not only Luo Cheng, but others also expressed their opinions. Actually, our light bulbs are very user-friendly. They can be attached when needed and removed when not. That's right. Look at those idiots in the Dark Star fleet. They've painted stars all over their mechas. They can't be erased, which ruins the aesthetics, and Yaori, with little suns painted all over his body, he's not afraid of getting burned, chatting and fighting, the Shenyu fleet members remarked. Aside from a little hunger, Everything's fine. While chatting, Lin Yin encountered a crisis. He was entangled by a powerful level 5 mech, while his companions were busy. After evading an attack with a shaky grasp, Lin Yin screamed for help over the team chat. "I've been targeted by a level 5 mech. Can anyone help me?" Luo Cheng teased. "It's just a level 5 mech. With your abilities, young Master Li, how can you not handle it? Oh my god, that guy is definitely not an ordinary level 5 mech pilot," Lin Yin complained as he struggled to evade the attack. "There's something wrong with that mech. The laser cannon can only blast off a tiny bit of paint. If it were an ordinary level 5 mech, Lin Yin wouldn't be able to defeat it, but he could buy time for others to arrive. I heard that Shi Hu, the second in command of Huanjing, is a level 5 mech pilot with decent combat capabilities, and his mech can grow." "Did you run into him?" Luo Cheng exclaimed excitedly. "Young Master Li, give me the coordinates quickly. I'll come and save you." Luo Cheng, also piloting a level 5, global mech, naturally wanted to meet Shi Hu, whose mech was of a similar level. Li Mingji hurriedly reported his coordinates. He was a man of discernment, never forcing himself to fight when he knew the outcome would be futile. After destroying the 2 level 5 mechas surrounding him, Luo Cheng excitedly rushed towards Wu Zin, shouting, "Let go of that pirate and let me take over." Li Yingji silently fled. The pirates, having lost their opponents, shifted their target and engaged the charging Luo Cheng. A live fire battle always involves casualties. Fortunately, unless a mech is destroyed, the crew in the cockpit is safe. Within half an hour of the mech division's battle commencing, numerous casualties were reported. Fortunately, most of the Shenyu fleet's mechas suffered minor damage, with no mechas crashing. Ren Wufen, hiding in the illusion crystal's main ship, saw the situation dire and ordered his pilots to launch their warships, attempting to escape in the chaos. When he lost contact with his base, he realized something was amiss, but he still dispatched his mech divisions, leaving only a few elite troops on the warships. Without chaos, his sneaky escape wouldn't have been possible. However, Ren Wufeng's plan to escape was aborted. Yi Hongwen kept a close eye on him. Upon hearing the news, the Shenyu Mecha pilots fighting outside immediately bypassed their opponents and rushed towards the Phantom Crystal main ship. This warship was well equipped, and they had to take it back as a trophy. Luo Cheng and Shi Hu were fighting evenly, but for a moment, he couldn't keep up with the main force and could only attack Shi Hu fiercely. It didn't take long for him to realize something was wrong. It seemed like his opponent had suddenly lost their will to fight. It turned out that someone had just announced that the Phantom Crystal main ship had already started its escape, in an attempt to discourage the pirates. The abandoned pirates were enraged and stopped attacking the army's mecha pilots. Instead, they headed straight for their own main ship to settle accounts with Ren Wufen. In Shi Hu's words, "I followed you because I wanted a better life, but you're so cowardly that you're willing to abandon your brothers. You're unfit to be the boss. I might as well just kill you and take the position myself." Chapter 161, The Disintegration of the Phantom Crystal. Pirates choose to become pirates for a variety of reasons and with varying temperaments, but they all cherish a strong sense of brotherhood. Upon hearing their leader's intention to leave them behind and escape alone, they rushed their mechas towards the cockpit of the Crystal Pirates' main ship, leaving behind the unfamiliar Shenyu fleet members. "We're so lucky today. We have someone to lead the way," Zhang Zihun said contentedly, commanding his mech to follow the pirates ahead. "Maybe there's even luckier people out there," Lin Yin chuckled. "We should go later, wait until they're done fighting, and then take advantage." "Lin Yin, what are you talking about? How could we do such a shameless thing?" Luo Cheng accuses him righteously, then changes the subject. "But why is the captain's quarters of the Crystal Pirates so hard to find? I'm afraid we'll have to spend some time finding the way." Everyone silently grumbles. "You're just pretending. How can it be hard to find with someone to lead the way? You're the most shameless one." Regardless, they inadvertently delayed their arrival at the captain's quarters. By the time they reached the quarters, Shi Hu had already led a group of abandoned pirates into a fight with Ren Wufen and the remaining pirates. Ren Wufen, despite being the captain, was no match for Shi Hu, a level 5 mecha pilot. Furthermore, the remaining pirates were few in number, and no one could come to his aid. Just as Ren Wufeng was complaining bitterly, he saw the soldiers approaching and shouted, "Second brother, stop it. We'll discuss this later. Those stinking soldiers are coming." Shi Hu, usually oppressed, threw himself into a fight. Come on, I'll beat you to death first, and then we'll talk. He ignored Ren Wufang and only quickened his beating. He figured he couldn't escape anyway, so he might as well beat the traitor to death to vent his anger. At worst, they could die together. With this in mind, Shi Hu fought even more recklessly. Having previously resorted to cold weapons, fearing the possibility of damaging the warship, he now recklessly used firearms, instantly stunning Ren Wufang. The onlookers couldn't stand it any longer. Oh no. He's actually trying to destroy the warship. We're going to lose big. After defeating the pirates, the warship was their prize. They absolutely couldn't let him damage it. Realizing this, Luo Cheng and the others quickly joined the fray. To quickly stop Shi Hu's attempt to sabotage the fleet, they unhesitatingly used firearms. Suddenly, the warship began to shake. The intelligent computer tablet announced, "Attention! The Phantom Crystal's defenses are 100% damaged, and its cockpit is 200% damaged. The warship is under excessive pressure and is about to disintegrate. Countdown to disintegration. 60, 59, oh my god. This warship was already severely damaged. What the hell are these pirates doing? They dared to launch the warship and escape, unafraid of being crushed by the pressure of space," Luo Cheng cursed. "Run for your lives," Wu Xin warned. "We only have less than a minute." The battleship couldn't be held, so the group commanded their mechas to sprint towards the exit. Passing by the pirates' lounge, the technicians inside pleaded for help. "Please take me with you. I'm a level 5 card maker. I can make energy cards for you, take me with you. I'm a level 4 armor maker. You won't be at a disadvantage, I'm a top-tier physician." Although curious about how a card maker and an armor maker could be brought aboard the battleship, Luo Cheng and the others rushed towards the exit without looking back. Having chosen to become pirates, they couldn't be good people. Their lives were more important. The impact of a disintegrating battleship was too much for even a level 7 mecha to withstand. Nearing the exit, Luo Cheng spotted a wounded boy with black hair and dark eyes crawling towards the ship's door. Seeing the mechas flying overhead, he didn't call for help, but stubbornly pursed his lips. Curious, Luo Cheng stepped forward, speared the boy, and flew out of the crystal phantom. Without the protection of the warship and without oxygen, the boy's face darkened, quickly turning a deep purple. Fearing he might suffocate, Luo Cheng quickly returned him to the main ship, the Sun Moon. After instructing the remaining guards to keep an eye on him, Luo Cheng rushed out. The fight wasn't over yet. He had just seen the pirates' mech pilots rushing out. Once out of the ship again, before Luo Cheng could locate the pirates' mechas, the crystal phantom disintegrated with a resounding boom. Sparks flew, and the wreckage of the crystal phantom hurled itself in all directions. Yi Hongwen's cold voice boomed over the main communication channel. "All personnel, immediately return to the ship." Time was running out, and no one had informed Yi Hongwen of the crystal phantom's impending disintegration. He had only just learned what had happened, and he immediately felt his men were incredibly audacious, operating mechas to linger near the disintegrating warship at this time. The boss had given the order, so no one dared to hesitate. They hurried back to the ship, carefully dodging large chunks of the phantom crystal's wreckage along the way. It took a while, and some of their mechas were severely damaged. Back on the battleship, everyone parked their mechas in the open space outside the entrance. For a long time, no one got out of their mechas, only to open the doors and lie on the pilot's seat, catching their breath. After a while, someone said weakly, "My mech's cabin was smashed and deformed, and I can't open the door." Everyone was speechless. "You idiot. If you can't open the door, why don't you contact the repairman? What's the point of telling us?" Ren Jiao said a little aggrievedly. "Didn't I say I'd contact you if I had any problems? That's just a polite remark from the new recruits when they come in," Wu Xin said foolishly. "Besides, we can't repair mechas, how can we help?" Ren Jiao was immediately furious. Even if it was a polite remark, it shouldn't be said like that. Isn't it a slap in her face? These foolish soldiers didn't even have a sympathetic eye for women. They couldn't even repair mechas, so why didn't they help contact a manicurist? Angry and aggrieved, but unable to do anything about them, Ren Jiao could only dial the manicurist's public video line. The person who answered the video call happened to be Lin Miaomiao. He opened his mouth and asked, "What's the matter?" Ren Jiao hurriedly said, "When how, my mecha is broken. I would like to ask you to help fix it." "Okay," Lin Miaomiao nodded casually. "What's broken?" "The mecha cabin was smashed and deformed, and the hatch can't be opened. Ren Jiao said with a smile, "I would like to trouble you to come to the ship door to rescue me." A beautiful woman's smile can always make people's hearts soften. But unfortunately Lin Xianhao is a heart of stone. When he heard that it was only the mecha cabin that was broken, his face drooped. "The mecha can still move, why don't you come directly to the repair room? Is your mecha faster or do I walk faster?" Ren Jiao was about to cry. She joined the fleet last year and had been training in the base. This was her first time on a mission. She had no idea that these men who usually laughed and joked with her would turn against her when something happened. What a bunch of rude people. Ren Jiao hung up the video call angrily, but had to drive the mecha to the repair room. There was no other way, she didn't want to stay in the mecha cabin forever. Chapter 162 found the pirate's lair. After the complete disintegration of the Phantom Crystal, the pirates who hadn't had time to board the secondary ships vanished along with the main ship. Everyone gasped. If they hadn't returned to the ship, they would have vanished into space as well. This frightened not only the members of the sunken moon fleet, but also the surviving pirates of the Phantom Crystal Pirates, who immediately announced their surrender via video link. Being captured didn't guarantee death, after all, they were just small-time thugs, likely destined for interstellar prisons for decades before seeing the light of day again. After receiving the 2 secondary ships of the Phantom Crystal, Yi Hongwen and his companions finally discovered the exact location of the pirate's lair, an isolated island in the ocean. Wu Zhen asked in surprise, "I remember there were many high-level exotic beasts in the sea of the waste planet. Living there must be dangerous?" A middle-aged man in his 40s smiled flatteringly. That was originally the case, but later the exotic beasts in the sea became more and more numerous, and edible food became scarce, so they started killing each other, and eventually almost died out. After the fleet landed on the isolated island, Zhao Cheng turned on the warship's external speakers and shouted, "Listen up, members of the Fantasy Crystal Pirates. I am Zhao Cheng, the captain of the Sunken Moon Fleet. You are now surrounded. If you don't want to be killed, surrender." Why surrender? Because, apart from the docking station, all the other buildings of the Fantasy Crystal Pirates are underground, so to speak. They have built an underground city. After shouting 3 times and waiting for more than 10 minutes, there was no response from the Fantasy Crystal Pirates base. Zhao Cheng looked at Yi Hongwen. "Captain," Yi Hongwen already had a guess in his mind. "I'm afraid the people down there have escaped." "Escaped?" Zhao Cheng was surprised. Yi Hongwen nodded. He had been puzzled earlier. The Crystal Pirates seemed to have more than 3 warships, yet there had been no reinforcements from beginning to end. Perhaps these 3 warships were simply intended to draw their attention, facilitating the escape of the others. Yi Hongwen had to tell him the truth, but what he hadn't guessed was that these 3 warships hadn't willingly sacrificed themselves to allow their companions to escape. Before his death, Ren Wufang had been anticipating the arrival of reinforcements. Seeing no movement from within, the mecha operators disembarked, preparing to force their way in. This time, Yi Hongwen left Luo Cheng and several other mecha operators on board to guard the prisoners, while he led the team to raid the pirate den. Luo Cheng was reluctant. "I'd like to go in and find some gifts for Lin Miaomiao. Maybe that way I'll get the right to treat her with special favors." "You don't have to look for them," Yi Hongwen said coldly. In fact, what he wanted to say was that he would find a good gift to send over, but before he could finish his words, Lin Xianhao came over and said, "Yes, my sister doesn't need you to send her a gift to please her. This kind of thing should be done by me as her brother." Yi Hongwen pursed his lips and swallowed back the words that were on the tip of his tongue. He had to admit that Lin Xianhao was more qualified to say this than him. After all, Lin Xianhao was her elder brother. Luo Cheng knew this fact. But he just couldn't accept it. "When how? You are an armorer, why are you going down there to join in the fun and steal our jobs?" "I'm also a 4th-level mecha master," Lin Xianhao said calmly. Seeing that Luo Cheng wanted to speak, he threatened impatiently, "If you still want to eat the dishes cooked by my sister, stay on the ship obediently, otherwise I will eat it in front of you." Luo Cheng shut up obediently. He's the little cook's elder brother, so it is better not to offend him. Otherwise, he will spread some gossip and he won't be able to eat those delicacies in the future. Anyway, pleasing him is considered pleasing the little cook. Entering the Crystal Pirates base was smooth, and there were almost no obstacles, except for a few doors with complex password locks. The people coming down weren't all mecha masters and did not know how to unlock electronic locks. Yi Hongwen, who was walking in the front, directly used violence to clear the way. Although the crystal base was built underground, the buildings within were well built and spacious. The walls were constructed of solid blue bricks, painted a brilliant white, and the floors were paved with the strongest diamond porcelain tiles. Dormitories, a dining hall, a training ground, and a recreational room were all available. The group traversed the entire dungeon without encountering a single soul. Yi Hongwen finally confirmed his suspicions. The place was deserted. With no enemies around, there was no need to stay in their mechas. They jumped out and searched everywhere, hoping to find some treasure. Fortunately, despite being an underground city, it was equipped with advanced air exchange equipment, making it comfortable to walk around. Perhaps because the pirates had retreated so hastily, the atmosphere of human life lingered everywhere. Pots, pans, and other household items hadn't been packed away, and some large instruments that couldn't fit directly into the space button were still there. However, no valuables or small instruments were found. All the good stuff's been taken, Wu Zin said disappointedly. Looks like we'll be returning empty-handed today. What a bummer. After defeating a pirate group, besides machinery, weapons, and warships, the mecha pilots would always be able to take some valuable treasures. The captain wouldn't stop them, and it was a great opportunity to make some extra money. But today, besides instruments and warships, the loot consisted of only greasy pots and pans. Wu Zin had no desire for them. However, the cook loved cooking, so she hesitated about whether to pack up everything in the kitchen and take it away. It can't be helped. It's our fault we didn't notice when they fled, Li Yingji sighed, also feeling frustrated. But the environment here is better than our base. The rooms are spacious and, most importantly, new. It'll definitely be very comfortable. If only we could move to another base. Yi Hongwen's heart moved slightly. Actually, moving to another base wasn't a bad idea. After all, Shen Yu's previous base was also excellent, but its strength had declined significantly, and it was taken over by another fleet. This place was truly well built, with complete training facilities. It would be a perfect place for a new base. After all, it was their trophy, so applying to their superiors for a change of base should be approved. Having second thoughts, Yi Hongwen spoke up, "Be careful, don't damage anything here. Or we'll have to repair it later." The team members present were stunned, then understood what Yi Hongwen meant. Were they planning to move here? Great, everyone cheered. We have new houses to live in. We can finally get rid of that shabby old place with appealing walls, and the training ground is so clean and tidy. We won't have to sit around in the dust when we train. The restaurant here is so big and great. We don't have to worry about being late and running out of seats, everyone chattered, and Yi Hongwen didn't stop them. He waited until they calmed down before sending them back to the ship. Moving wasn't going to happen overnight. At the very least, they had to submit an application and wait for approval from their superiors before moving in. However, since we don't have much to do on a daily basis, you can tidy up this area while waiting for news, such as repairing the broken password door, setting a new password lock, etc. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 163, One Move Creates Eternal Hatred. It was past 4 in the afternoon when they returned to the Shen-Yu fleet's base. Since they were on a mission, the cafeteria's lunchtime schedule was off. Those who hadn't wanted to eat the nutrient solution rushed to the kitchen to see if there were any leftovers from the lunch snack, only to be disappointed. Lin Miaomiao was even more frustrated. "My sister made something delicious, and I, the eldest brother, didn't get any. These people are too much. You can ask Miaomiao." Luo Cheng looked at Lin Miaomiao expectantly. "Maybe they've saved some for you." Lin Miaomiao thought it made sense and video called Lin Miaomiao. A surprise awaited him. Lin Miaomiao said, "I saved some for you. I'll have Lolly bring it to you right away." A few minutes later, Lolly entered the dining room carrying a large insulated lunchbox and placed it on Lin Miaomiao's table, amidst the envious gazes of many. After delivering the lunchbox, Lolly didn't leave, but went straight to the kitchen to help her new friends cook dinner. She didn't like to shut down and return to her owner's chat button. "Wow, what a huge lunchbox," Luo Cheng exclaimed happily. "Miaomiao must know we're close, so she prepared an extra portion for me," Wu Zin scoffed. "The sun hasn't even set yet, and you're still daydreaming. Who knows who the extra portions are for?" She glanced at Ye Hongwen several times, and everyone suddenly realized that, besides her brother Lin Xianhao, the young cook was the only one more familiar with Ye Hongwen. Even Lin Xianhao had to admit, given his sister's awkward personality, even though she'd agreed to try someone else, it had only been 2 days. How could she change so quickly? Ye Hongwen definitely had a share of this dish. Lin Xianhao thought for a moment and moved his lunchbox closer to Ye Hongwen. Since my sister left some, let's eat together. Everyone knew who he was addressing, but he didn't mention anyone by name. Luo Cheng cheekily extended his chopsticks. Wen Hao is such a good brother. We're all brothers, we should eat together. Lin Xianhao's face was blank. That wasn't meant for you. Luo Cheng pretended not to hear him, quickly scooping food into his own bowl while warmly greeting the others. Eat, everyone, don't be polite, we're brothers, how can we be polite? Wu Zin smiled shyly, then joined the scramble for food. As for Ye Hongwen, despite his stern expression, he was no less skillful in picking up food, and he ate with a clear conscience. Everyone said, this dish was his due. You bunch of robbers, Lin Xianhao said angrily, then joined the scramble for food. Puff. The female soldier at the table behind couldn't help but laugh. Look how excited they are about it. Is that dish really that good? A girl in her mid-20s couldn't help but wonder. Who knows? Ren Jiao said, a little uncomfortably. Maybe it's because she's good at acting cute that so many people are here, even though she had never met Lin Miaomiao in person, who has also a duplicate name like her and was obviously more popular. Ren Jiao didn't particularly like her. The girl at her table, who seemed to understand Ren Jiao's personality well, smiled dismissively. You're jealous because she's better at cooking than you are. I heard you tried cooking before, but you almost burned down the kitchen. Ren Jiao glared at her teammate who had exposed her shortcomings. No one would think you were dumb if you didn't say anything. Everyone who heard laughed. After a late lunch, everyone went back to their rooms to recuperate. However, Ye Hongwen wandered into the kitchen and saw Lolita washing and chopping vegetables. He asked, did your master send you here? No, Lolita replied, I just felt a little bored. Ye Hongwen frowned. Our intelligent robots these days so human-like that they actually get bored when they have nothing to do? After a moment's hesitation, Ye Hongwen asked, was your master unhappy when she cooked lunch? Lolly paused for a few seconds, her intelligent brain working at high speed before she replied, the master wasn't unhappy, she really enjoys cooking. Ye Hongwen, knowing what was going on, turned and left the kitchen. After dinner, Lin Miaomiao brought Lolly back to her room. Just as she was about to take a shower, she received a video call from Ye Hongwen. Thinking of what he had said that day, Lin Miaomiao impulsively declined the call. She regretted it then, staring at the communicator for a long time. Seeing no further movement from Ye Hongwen, she felt depressed again, then cursed herself again. She had said she wanted to put her heart back in her heart, but why was she still so disappointing? Angrily, she ripped off the communicator, which she rarely left with her, threw it on the bed, and ran to take a shower. After coming back from showering, Lin Miaomiao felt like she was back to normal, so she put the communicator back on her wrist. She checked it casually and was surprised to find that Ye Hongwen had sent her more than a dozen video messages during the half hour she was showering. Lin Miaomiao looked up at the sky. Would she be punished for not answering her superior's video messages? The last record was 10 minutes ago. Lin Miaomiao was hesitating whether to call back when Liu Kaoyer knocked on the door and came in. Miaomiao, the boss is looking for you, come out quickly. Lin Miaomiao was dumbfounded. Was he here to teach her a lesson? What should she do? Seeing that she didn't move for a long time, Liu Kaoyer thought she was still making a fuss and simply pulled her out. Except for Zhang Xingyan, no one believed what she said when she was angry that day. Boss, you looking for me? Lin Miaomiao forced herself to hold up her expressionless face. Ye Hongwen sat upright on the sofa. Instead of rushing to talk about the matter, he asked, why didn't you answer the call? Lin Miaomiao said righteously, I took it off before taking a shower. I didn't know there was a video call. Oh, Ye Hongwen didn't believe it. Maybe he didn't hear the latter part, but he was hung up the first time. However, he didn't expose her and got to the point. Did you go to the kitchen to help at noon today? Yes, Lin Miaomiao answered calmly, but she was a little uneasy in her heart. Was he going to scold her for going into the kitchen? However, what Ye Hongwen wanted to say was completely different from what she thought. Since you have this talent and you like cooking, The kitchen work will be handed over to you in the future, and the 3 robots will also be under your command. Lin Miaomiao was stunned for a moment. But I still have to train. Breakfast will be the same as usual. You will take care of lunch and dinner. Leave the preparation work to your housekeeper. You just need to go there half an hour in advance to fry them. Yi Hongwen had already planned it for her. Can I say no? Lin Miaomiao tried to make a final struggle. In fact, she was still angry with Yi Hongwen, so she didn't want to listen to him and work. Originally, we could still discuss it during the video call. Yi Hongwen looked at her expressionlessly, but when you hung up the first video call, there was no room for negotiation. This is an order. Well, Lin Miaomiao had nothing to say. It was her own fault after all. Why did she hang up the video call? This is what it means to cause eternal hatred with one move. While Lin Miaomiao was reflecting on herself, the other 3 girls who were hiding at the door and eavesdropping openly were very proud. Great, there will be delicious food every day from now on. Chapter 164 Who is your lover? On the first day that Lin Miaomiao became a cook, Liu Caoyer betrayed her during training. Everyone knew that Lin Miaomiao had become the new cook of the fleet, so during the breaks in training, everyone surrounded her. Miaomiao, is the news true? Yu Zixin asked excitedly. It's true, Lin Miaomiao nodded reluctantly. Great, Yu Zixin was overjoyed, and then said, can I order some food? The eyes of those who had tasted Lin Miaomiao's cooking suddenly became hot, and they all expected her to agree to the request of ordering food. However, Lin Miaomiao refused coldly. I don't run a restaurant, so I don't have the option of ordering food, Yu Zixin said pitifully. We've been in love for so many years, can't you make a concession? Wait, who did you say you were in love with? Lin Miaomiao couldn't believe her ears. Of course it's you, Yu Zixin frowned at her. You've become stupid. You don't even understand this, Liu Caoyer gasped. What's going on? Zixin, aren't you and Zhu Chen together? When did you 2 start dating? Lin Miaomiao replied blankly, I don't know. Zhu Chen's face was filled with hurt. Zixin, I misjudged you. With that, Zhu Chen stormed off, not caring if the training session wasn't over yet. Scumbag, Liu Caoyer grumbled. Yu Zixin, too, was furious. Miaomiao and I are good friends. How can I be unfair to Zhu Chen? And not only Miaomiao, you and Licken are also my good friends and my lovers. Does being with him mean I can't even be friends anymore? The onlookers were furious. They thought it was some cliched gossip about having 2 girlfriends, but who knew it was the male protagonist's low IQ, unable to even distinguish between good friends and lovers? How boring. Better to get back to training. With a whoosh, the crowd dispersed. Feng Licken only then figured out the whole story, and she said with a smile, who told you that good friends are lovers? My aunt. Yu Zixin looked at his friends in confusion. Is there something wrong with that? Zhang Xingyan shook his head and laughed. You actually believe such things? How did you grow up? Lin Miaomiao was curious. Was it Aunt Yujiu who told you this? The captain of the Dawn. Yes, Yu Zixin finally realized that something was wrong. Is there anything wrong with what my aunt said? Liu Caoyer sighed and explained the meaning of lover. She finally understood that among her group of friends, Yu Zixin was the most stupid and gullible one. Even the 18-year-old Lin Miaomiao was cunning. Oh my god. Did I say the wrong thing just now and make Zhu Chen misunderstand? Yu Zixin wanted to cry but had no tears. You'd better go and explain quickly, Liu Caoyer urged. Your husband likes to keep everything to himself. It would be bad if he gets sick from anger. Yu Zixin left in a hurry, and he didn't even remember his original intention of ordering food. Lin Miaomiao breathed a sigh of relief, because she didn't want Yu Zixin to set a precedent for her to order food. Lin Miaomiao thought that everything would be fine after it was explained clearly, so she didn't care. However, when she entered the kitchen at 11 o'clock, she met someone who shouldn't be in the kitchen at this time. Why are you in the kitchen so early? Lin Miaomiao said unhappily. Could it be that he came to supervise your work? I didn't eat breakfast, so I'm a little hungry, so I came to see if there is anything to eat, Yi Hongwen said coldly. Lin Miaomiao breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out that he was hungry. It was good that he didn't come to supervise her and was not lazy. Lin Miaomiao's thoughts were wandering again. She sighed, hiding her inner turmoil. She looked up and asked Yi Hongwen, did you find anything to eat? Yi Hongwen shook his head, no. When are you going to cook? With the powerful stoves these days, cooking was a breeze. Lin Miaomiao had originally wanted to wait, But after hearing Yi Hongwen's words, she reluctantly began. Even though she was still angry, she remembered that his stomach was not good and he couldn't starve. Lin Miaomiao was busy cooking, and Yi Hongwen didn't go out to wait, just standing quietly watching. This made Lin Miaomiao's movements a little stiff. Just as she was considering whether to ask him to wait outside, Yi Hongwen suddenly blurted out, "Lin Miaomiao, who is your lover?" Swish! Lin Miaomiao was stunned by his words. She used too much force with her hands, and the spatula scraped against the bottom of the pot, making a harsh noise. "Nonsense, how could I have a lover?" Lin Miaomiao exuded a strong cold air all over her body. It was just a misunderstanding. Who was so bored as to tell Yi Hongwen about it? How do you know what just happened? Are there surveillance cameras installed on the training ground? Of course not, Yi Hongwen denied. Someone just told me about it, and I came to you to confirm it. What is there to confirm? Don't say I don't have it. Even if there is, it's none of the captain's business. Could it be that Sheng Yu still doesn't allow recruits to have a love relationship? Lin Miaomiao said unhappily. By the way, who told you? Yi Hongwen lowered his eyes and said, Sheng Ruinan, it's her. Lin Miaomiao still had an impression of this person, because Sheng Ruinan was a generous man, and he was very enthusiastic every time he saw her. Lin Miaomiao wanted to make friends with her, but now it seems that she is a hypocrite. It seems that I have to stay away from her in the future. Yi Hongwen, who was not present, knew about what just happened. It can be seen that she deliberately came to tell him. The reason is not difficult to guess. Isn't she just like Liu Chainer? She fell in love with Yi Hongwen. The first dish, braised pork, was already cooked. Lin Miaomiao put the dish into the large basin beside her and was about to call Lolly to move it to the table next to her when Yi Hongwen came up and took it away. Lin Miaomiao was about to thank her when she saw Yi Hongwen pick up the bowl prepared beside him and fill it up directly. Then he got some rice and left. Lin Miaomiao, are you extremely hungry? There were many people eating, so Lin Miaomiao only prepared 3 dishes, but the portions were very large. In addition to the braised pork, there were also stir-fried pork with peas and scrambled eggs with tomatoes for lunch today. When Yi Hongwen was adding more rice, he was surprised to see that none of the 3 dishes had chili peppers. He remembered that Lin Miaomiao liked spicy food very much. At 11:30, those who had tasted Lin Miaomiao's cooking last time came early, and those who had not tried it but were very curious also came early. Several robots were busy. Yi Hongwen did not leave after finishing his meal, but stood by the queue for a while. Seeing that many people asked for more food, he said, from now on, everyone will have a limited amount of dishes. 1 spoonful of each. If there is no limit, the people behind him will probably have nothing to eat. As soon as Yi Hongwen said this, the 4 robots carried out the order in a rigid manner, and no longer paid attention to those who asked for more. Boss, why didn't you say you would serve later? Liu Yifei complained with a bitter face. It was finally his turn, but the amount was limited. How could he still have a happy meal? You can choose not to eat, Yi Hongwen said lightly. It's limited, so be it. Liu Yifei ran away with the bowl in his arms, knowing the situation. After Yi Hongwen decided to limit the amount, the speed of serving the dishes increased. The 4 robots just served 1 dish each, and the people in the queue only had to walk from one end of the long table to the other without even saying a word. Some people are picky eaters and don't want to eat something they don't like, but they are too embarrassed to say it when they see Yi Hongwen standing next to them. After hesitating, they find that the robot has already prepared it for them very efficiently, so they can only take the bowl and leave with tears in their eyes. Chapter 165 There are always people who look down on me. As a cook, Lin Miaomiao had certain privileges. For example, when she saw her friends preparing their meals, she would grab a small spoon and serve herself her favorite dishes, ignoring the numerous stares. Most people thought her behavior was normal and remained silent, but some, like Feng Zudi, were so disgusted that they protested. Of course, Feng Zudi was not a brainless person. She did not blame Lin Miaomiao, but smiled and said, Miaomiao is still good. She is a cook in the kitchen. She can eat whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and as much as she wants. There are no restrictions. Lin Miaomiao was about to go to the restaurant to find Liu Kaoyer and others. Hearing this, she turned back and said, then what do you want to express? Envy. Feng Zudi secretly glanced at Yi Hongwen. Seeing that he had no intention of speaking, he was relieved and nodded in agreement. Yes, we have to queue for so long to get food. How can we not be envious? Lin Miaomiao said calmly. Actually, you don't have to queue. Really? Feng Zudi questioned. But the captain requires queuing, otherwise you will be punished to run laps. Miaomiao, are you instigating me not to follow the rules? Although the latter sentence was said in a joking tone, everyone heard the trap in it. Regardless of whether the answer was yes or no, Lin Miaomiao was wrong. At this moment, Sheng Ruinan stepped forward to smooth things over. Zudi, stop joking. It will not be good if everyone takes it seriously. Miaomiao, go eat and ignore her. However, Lin Miaomiao did not take the ladder she handed over, but said to Feng Zudi very seriously, I'm serious. As long as you come to the kitchen to work, you can be like me. Feng Zudi did not expect to get such an answer. She was stunned for a moment, but she had a good psychological quality. She quickly came to her senses and said with some embarrassment, I can't do kitchen work. My mother said since I was a child that I would be a mecha engineer. How can I do those things that only incompetent people need to learn? Zudi, what nonsense are you talking about? Actually, it's good to know how to cook. You can be a chef when you don't stop being a soldier in the future. You don't have to worry about not finding a job. Sheng Ruinan interrupted again. Miaomiao, don't mind it. Zudi is just straightforward, but she doesn't mean any harm. Lin Miaomiao looked at Sheng Ruinan and said, straightforward? Then Senior Ruinan ran to the captain and told him that I had a lover. Wasn't she also straightforward and had no malice? Sheng Ruinan was shocked and wanted to ask Lin Miaomiao how she knew, but she didn't dare ask. Would asking be a clear admission of what she had said? She wanted to deny it, but when she saw Yi Hongwen looking at her coldly, her heart sank and she dared not speak again. Feng Zudi didn't understand what was going on, and when she saw Sheng Ruinan was silent, she defended her, saying, Ruinan would definitely not tell the captain this. You must have misunderstood. Is there someone jealous of Ruinan and slandering her in front of you? What if the captain said it himself? Lin Miaomiao asked. Sheng Ruinan's face turned pale. She should have known it long ago. No one besides Yi Hongwen knew what she had done. At this point, she had no choice but to admit it. Taking a deep breath, Sheng Ruinan straightened her back and said, I did do this, Ruinan, you. Feng Zudi's eyes were full of confusion. She and Ruinan were good friends, but she had never known Ruinan to do such a thing. What had happened to Ruinan? Lin Miaomiao was a bit surprised. I didn't think you'd admit it so easily. Sheng Ruinan was equally unconcerned. It's nothing to be ashamed of. After all, I'm doing this for the captain's own good. I can't just stand by and watch him be deceived by you. Sheng Ruinan dared to say this because she hadn't seen what was happening next. After Zhu Chen was driven away that morning, she had rushed to find Yi Hongwen, never realizing it was just a misunderstanding. As soon as she spoke, she was met with ridicule from those who disliked her. Oh, I told you, your cheerful and generous nature is all a facade. Look, you're rushing off to complain before you've even clarified the matter, Renjiao scoffed. Renjiao, don't talk nonsense. Ruinan was just concerned about the captain, it wasn't intentional, Feng Zudi said angrily. Don't try to add insult to injury. What do you mean by not clarified the matter? Sheng Ruinan had a bad feeling. Feng Zudi hesitated, fearing Sheng Ruinan would be upset if she knew. Renjiao had no such concerns. Renjiao said coldly, that was just a misunderstanding. Yaozi believed that lovers refer to good friends, so he called all friends lovers. Ruinan, if you stayed a few more minutes, you would have heard the truth. Why are you so anxious to tell the captain? How could this be? Sheng Ruinan couldn't accept it. Sheng Ruinan thought she had caught Lin Miaomiao's trick, but it turned out to be a misunderstanding. She also let everyone know that she had complained behind her back. How would everyone look at her? Fortunately, Sheng Ruinan was usually quite successful in her life. Seeing that she was embarrassed, although she didn't like her behavior this time, someone still stood up to smooth things over. Ruinan must have been exhausted from the mission the day before yesterday, so she made a mistake in a moment of confusion. Yu Zichen said with a smile, I think Ruinan should apologize to our chef. Someone gave her a way out, and Sheng Ruinan apologized. Miaomiao, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were joking, I misunderstood you. It's okay. Lin Miaomiao accepted her apology straightforwardly. Just be more careful next time. Sheng Ruinan smiled. I will. Although she didn't know how sincere Sheng Ruinan's apology was, Lin Miaomiao didn't intend to pursue it. She had been in the spotlight enough these past few days. If she had another fight in the kitchen, even if Yi Hongwen didn't kick her out, She would have to pack up and go home. After all, she didn't have that thick skin. The troublemakers died down, and Lin Miaomiao slowly walked out of the kitchen with her bowl of rice. When Liu Kaoyu and the others were found, they had almost finished their meal. Seeing Lin Miaomiao just coming over, Liu Kaoyu couldn't help but complaining, "You don't have to worry about serving the food, why don't you come out earlier? Do you need a queue? I wanted to come out earlier too," Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. "It's a pity that my blue-eyed boyfriend is a disaster. Some people always dislike me." "What do you mean by blue-eyed boyfriend is a disaster?" Liu Kaoyu didn't quite understand, but she understood the latter part of the sentence. "Someone is causing trouble for you again. Why don't you call me to watch the fun?" Lin Miaomiao frowned. "You are very happy that I am in trouble, and you want to watch the fun." Liu Kaoyu saw that the situation was not good, and hurriedly said with a smile, "How could it be? I was afraid that you would suffer and wanted to help. Thank you so much." Lin Miaomiao rolled his eyes at her unhappily, and lowered his head to eat. After finishing her meal, Fang Likin wiped her mouth with a tissue before speaking. "Miaomiao, have you run into a love rival again?" Lin Miaomiao didn't say anything, and everyone just assumed she agreed. Zhang Xingyan said unhappily, "Likin, don't talk nonsense. Miaomiao doesn't have a love rival. She doesn't even have anyone she likes. If you say there's no rival, then there's no rival." Fang Likin sighed and urged Lin Miaomiao, "Eat quickly. You won't have time for lunch later." Chapter 166 Black-Hearted Mecha Battle Center. After dinner, everyone went back to their own places for lunch. No one mentioned the issue of Lin Miaomiao's rival. After all, the matter was in the past, and they also believed that Lin Miaomiao had not suffered any loss. In the afternoon, there was still mecha combat training. Lin Miaomiao's partner had never been fixed, and the veterans always took turns to fight. Lin Miaomiao said that she was very calm about this. After all, the veterans were experienced and she could learn more. Liu Kaoyu was very dissatisfied because she didn't see any excitement today, so she urged Zhu Chen to play a friendly match with Lin Miaomiao, see if Miaomiao has improved. With the veterans' careful guidance, she should improve faster than us. Lin Miaomiao agreed, "I think I have indeed made great progress. It seems that I should suggest to Brother Liu to change the training method, let the veterans and new recruits pair up, and lead the new recruits to improve together." This, Liu Kaoyu shuddered. She just wanted Zhu Chen to teach Lin Miaomiao a lesson, but she was not happy to change the training method. Lin Miaomiao had been constantly outmatched by the veterans these past few days, needing to repair her mech every day. Luckily, her eldest brother was the captain of the manicure division, and the men always prioritized her mech repairs. Liu Kaoyu had hesitated, but Zhu Chen thought her idea was a good one and offered to spar with Lin Miaomiao. If it really works, Miaomiao's suggestion might be a good idea. Lin Miaomiao didn't care. She'd been battered these past few days anyway. Even Zhu Chen, no matter how skilled, couldn't match those veterans. Perhaps she could hold her own a little longer under his command. The two of them boarded their mechas and began to battle. It was half-time, and their actions naturally attracted considerable attention. Zhu Chen was the victor again. Although Lin Miaomiao had been coached by the veterans for a few days, she couldn't catch up to Zhu Chen instantly. However, she had made significant progress. She used to be able to hold out for a maximum of 10 minutes against Zhu Chen, but now she could hold out for over 20, surprising Liu Kaoyu and the others. After getting off the mecha, Zhu Chen said, "I think Miaomiao's training method is good. I should tell Brother Liu about it." What to say? Liu Yifei came over. Everyone frowned. Are these guys' ears too sharp? How come he always arrives the first time every time he is mentioned? Liu Yifei was embarrassed. Could he say that he wanted to have a good relationship with the little cook so that it would be convenient for him to order meals occasionally in the future? Ignoring the strange looks from everyone, Liu Yifei pretended to be calm and spoke again. "Didn't you want to tell me something? Why didn't anyone say anything when I came?" "Actually, it's nothing. I just think Brother Liu has worked hard to train us during this period." Liu Kaoyu tried to cover it up. She felt that she was not ready to be tortured by the veterans. "Really? Nothing else?" Liu Yifei expressed his doubt. Liu Kaoyu wanted to say yes, but Zhu Chen interrupted her. Zhu Chen smiled gently and said, "Yes, there is something else. Miaomiao and I just had a fight, and I found that she has made obvious progress after only a few days of training, while we have trained for a week longer than her, but the progress is very small. So I want to find out where the problem lies. Found it? Liu Yifei asked. Zhu Chen nodded. Yes. I think it's because we have different opponents in training this afternoon. The veterans are experienced, and although Miaomiao may seem to be beaten badly when she plays against them, she can learn a lot from them. So I want to apply to change opponents. In view of Liu Kaoyer's reluctance, Zhu Chen couldn't suggest that everyone change teammates, so he only applied for himself. However, those present were not fools. After hearing what Zhu Chen said, they knew the benefits of this matter, and they all came over to ask to change opponents. Liu Yifei was in a dilemma. Switching opponents is easy, but the armorers will protest. The rookies were surprised. Why? Ask Lin Miaomiao how many times she's been in the repair room these days, Liu Yifei said helplessly. It's good for veterans to guide new recruits, but we have too few armorers and we can't keep up. Those who joined last year knew this all too well. Initially, they implemented the strategy of veterans guiding new recruits, but who knew that after just a few days, the armorers went on strike in protest. The new recruits' mechas were breaking down so quickly and so badly that they couldn't repair them, even if they worked day and night. Later, as a last resort, they switched to pairing up with the new recruits to reduce the number of mech repairs. Why not use virtual network training? Zhu Chen asked, puzzled. Many troops were now accustomed to using virtual networks for training, without having to worry about heavy blows or mechas needing repairs. Liu Yifei shrugged. We have too few people, so building a dedicated virtual training platform isn't cost-effective. Our fleet is so broke, we can only do it once we're rich. Everyone frowned. This was incredibly irresponsible. Who knew what he meant by rich? Why not go to the Star Network? Liu Kaoyer was curious. Everyone had a Star Network connector, so wouldn't it be convenient to practice there? Liu Yifei said grumpily. Where on the Star Network can we practice? On the streets, of course. At the Mecha Battle Center. Liu Kaoyer looked at him in disbelief. There's no charge there. Who said there's no charge? Liu Yifei gritted his teeth. We practice as a team, so we have to get together. I used to have a large room for everyone to practice in, but because we were practicing so often, the administrators found out and said they'd charge a venue fee and mecha restoration fees. At the Mecha Battle Center, damaged mechas could be restored free of charge after each battle. The Shenyu fleet's training was private, so the Battle Center naturally wasn't happy to let them use the venue and mecha restoration facilities for free. It's not their fault. That mecha restoration feature isn't free. The Battle Center has to pay a hefty sum to the Star Network Operations Center every month. How can they let us use it without some benefit? Luo Chang leaned over and offered a fair response. Liu Yifei curled his lips. But they're charging way too much? I went to the Star Network Operations Center and asked. They only charge 500 credits for 1,000 restorations, but the Battle Center is asking 2,000 credits. It's because we don't have a venue that they can rip us off. Wu's inside. All businesses are dishonest, and that's what they're talking about, so, they're really unscrupulous. They've quadrupled the price, Liu Yifei said gloomily. If only we had a free training ground. We could pay for the mecha restoration ourselves. Housing on Star Network is incredibly expensive. Even in the outskirts, a place over 100 square meters costs hundreds of thousands of credits, and that's without expansion space. Applying for expansion space is even more expensive. Getting a place isn't easy. We have a wealthy woman here. We can ask her to sponsor us, Liu Kaoyer said with a malicious smile. Liu Yifei perked up immediately upon hearing this. Kaoyer, who are you talking about? I'll go find her. As long as I can get a free place, I'll even sell my body. Liu Kaoyer rolled her eyes at him. Looking at you like this, forget it. Let the boss do it. As she spoke, Liu Kaoyer glanced at Lin Miaomiao intentionally or unintentionally, and everyone understood. It seems that the boss really has to take action. Luo Cheng sighed. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. You guys are so boring. Chapter 167, Being a Principled Cook. After the joke, Liu Yifei and the others didn't bring up the free training ground again. After all, training new recruits was the responsibility of the Shenyu fleet, and there was no question of Lin Miaomiao being solely responsible for the training ground. But for Lin Miaomiao, finding a free place on StarNet wasn't a problem. After all, she had her father behind her. The Heguang Mecha Training Center was well known on StarNet, with plenty of large training rooms. Lin Miaomiao planned to video chat with her father that evening to see if she could get a long-term, free room. However, Lin Miaomiao kept this to herself, fearing that her father would feel it was too much of a loss and refused to help, thus ruining everyone's excitement. As usual, Lin Miaomiao went to the kitchen half an hour early to cook. Tonight's meal consisted of stir-fried bitter melon with pork, scrambled eggs with onions, and braised pork with potatoes. Remembering Kair's complaint about the lack of soup, Lin Miaomiao also made winter melon and pork rib soup. After leaving several robot soups aside for those who wanted them, Lin Miaomiao prepared the food for the 4 people in the dormitory and returned home. After texting Liu Kair and Feng Licken to tell them to go back to the dormitory for dinner, Lin Miaomiao knocked on Wu Na's door. Wu Na was a little surprised to see Lin Miaomiao. "You're back so early? Is the food ready?" "Okay," Lin Miaomiao nodded. "The dishes I'm making tonight are relatively simple and won't take much time. Come out for dinner." "I brought our dinner back," Wu Na smiled. "Sharing a dormitory with you is a blessing. I might as well trouble you with all my meals from now on," Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. "I want to be a principled cook. Don't tempt me into doing these things that are partial." "But you already cooked today," Wu Na said confidently. "So it wasn't me who tempted you." Lin Miaomiao thought for a moment and said, "Then you should go to the cafeteria to eat, Wu Na." In the end, Wu Na didn't go to the kitchen to eat because Lin Miaomiao had brought back too much food. Halfway through the meal, Liu Kair and Feng Licken came back and were immediately dissatisfied when they saw that Lin Miaomiao and Feng Licken had started eating first. "You're so disloyal. You didn't even wait for us to eat," Liu Kair pouted unhappily. "Did you eat all the good dishes?" Feng Licken looked at the dishes on the table with a bitter face. "Why is it that today's dishes are either bitter melon or onions? I don't like either of them. I can only eat potatoes and braised pork. The bitter melon was too bitter, and the onions had a smell." Feng Licken couldn't stand it. "It's not good to be picky about food." Lin Miaomiao looked at her seriously. "Licken, you're not 3 or 4 years old anymore. You should be sensible." PFFT, Wu Na, who was drinking soup, couldn't help but spit. What was wrong with the tone of scolding a disobedient child? It was as if Miaomiao's age was the priority here. Lin Miaomiao quickly pulled away the 2 insulated lunchboxes placed in front of Wu Na, then said with disdain, "Wu Na, you're so dirty. You're such a grown-up, and you don't even pay attention when drinking soup." Liu Kair and the others nodded in agreement. "What if we get the food dirty? We haven't even started eating yet." Wu Na burst into tears. It wasn't intentional, it was just that Lin Miaomiao's tone of voice was so funny. Although she didn't like 2 of the 3 dishes, Feng Licken still sat down with her bowl and chopsticks. As for Liu Kair, she wasn't a picky eater who'd eat anything, so she sat down and started eating early. "Huh?" Liu Kair couldn't help but pick up another piece of bitter melon with her chopsticks. After finishing it, she said in surprise, "Why isn't the bitter melon bitter today? Come on, how can bitter melon not be bitter?" "It's not a sweet melon," Feng Licken pouted, concentrating on eating the braised pork and potatoes. Fortunately, there was still this dish she loved, otherwise she would have been stuck with soup and rice. Liu Kair looked up innocently. "Why would I lie to you? It's really not bitter. If you don't believe me, ask Wu Na and Miaomiao." After that, Liu Kair ignored her and started eating again, but she picked up the bitter melon more often. Feng Licken looked at Wu Na and saw that she often stretched out her chopsticks for the bitter melon. She stared at the bitter melon for a long time. How could a bitter melon not be bitter? Feng Licken, who could not resist the temptation, finally stretched out her claws for the bitter melon. The moment the bitter melon entered her mouth, she was moved. It turned out that bitter melon could be so delicious. "Miaomiao, let's continue eating bitter melon tomorrow," Feng Licken said. Lin Miaomiao still had no expression on her face and said, "I want to be a principled cook and don't accept orders. There's no need to do this since there are no outsiders here," Liu Kair said embarrassedly. She actually wanted to order some dishes too. "That's right, we are all in the same dormitory, so please make an exception." Wu Na also made an effort for the sake of her stuttering. Lin Miaomiao's lips curled up, and Liu Kair and the other 2 were overjoyed, thinking that she was going to give in. However, she still refused mercilessly. "No, I don't want to break my principles." Liu Kair and the other 2 looked at each other. They couldn't persuade her even after this, which showed Lin Miaomiao's determination. "Forget it," Feng Licken gave up first. "Since Miaomiao is so determined, we can't let her down. That's the only way. Anyway, whatever Miaomiao cooks is delicious." Liu Kair also gave up. Liu Kaoyu and the other two gave up, and Wu Na couldn't say anything. After all, she and Lin Miaomiao had only known each other for more than 2 months and were not very familiar with each other. Seeing that the three of them had calmed down, Lin Miaomiao nodded with satisfaction. This way, they could continue to have fun. After dinner, Luo Li was still helping in the kitchen and had not returned. Liu Kaoyu volunteered to wash the dishes. Lin Miaomiao didn't object. She liked cooking but hated washing dishes. Principal Cook, what are you doing tonight? Are you going to train your mental power on the StarNet again? Liu Kaoyu asked, drying her hands with a napkin. Lin Miaomiao nodded. The fleet's training is all about skills and mecha combat. Mental power training can only be done on the StarNet at night. Oh, and there's also gravity training. I've been here for over 10 days, and I haven't even been to the fleet's gravity room yet. Liu Kaoyu blinked. You'll be disappointed if you go. Our fleet's most advanced gravity room is only 10 times stronger. It's said it was built after the boss took office. There weren't any before, back in school. They were already able to move freely in the 10 times gravity room, so the fleet's gravity room was of little use to them. Yet, Shenyu didn't have a lot of training equipment before. A lot of basic training equipment has been added in the past 2 years, but unfortunately, there's still a lack of this and that. Fang Lick sighed. I don't know when we'll have all the equipment. Let's take our time. After all, we can access the StarNet, so it won't delay training too much, Lin Miaomiao said. The financial resources of the Shenyu fleet are really thin. In fact, Yu Hongwen must also feel a lot of pressure. No wonder his stern face is even colder than 2 years ago, Lin Miaomiao thought sympathetically. It can only be like this. Liu Kaoyu spread her hands helplessly. At least most of the seniors here are very friendly and will not bully newcomers. I heard Xiao Mingyan say that the veterans in their fleet always bully newcomers. Wu Na nodded in agreement. She also heard classmates complain that they were often bullied after joining the fleet, and some even regretted joining the fleet. Forget it, let's not talk about this, Liu Kaoyu said with a smile. I just wanted to ask if you guys are going to the supermarket. I want to buy a quilt. Fang Licken and Wu Na both said it was up to them, but Lin Miaomiao remembered what her eldest brother said in the morning and refused. Let's wait a little longer. I heard that we might change our base. I don't know if the beds there are like this. Liu Kaoyu and the other two were instantly confused. What did you say? We are going to change our base? Who told you? Chapter 168. It's wrong to be a mistress. After dropping a bomb, Lin Miaomiao floated back to her room, ignoring her stunned friends, and the supermarket trip naturally came to nothing. Lin Miaomiao did not go to the Star Network to train her mental strength as usual after entering the room, but sent a video message to Lin's father. After the video message was sent, Lin Yuhei did not answer for a long time. Lin Miaomiao guessed that he was temporarily inconvenient to answer the video message, so she hung up and planned to call again the next day. After taking a shower and changing into pajamas, Lin Miaomiao was about to enter the Star Domain cabin when Lin's father's video message came. Dad, good evening, Lin Miaomiao greeted him very obediently. Miaomiao, good evening, Lin Yuhei smiled on his serious face. I just video called Dad yesterday. Did you miss Dad again today? This time, Lin Miaomiao did not put on her signature expressionless face, but said with a little sadness, yes, I miss Dad, and I miss the training room at school. How can the training room at school be side by side with Dad? Lin Yuhei was dissatisfied. His daughter was getting less and less obedient as she grew up. It was really worrying. Lin Miaomiao frowned. Shouldn't he have asked why she wanted to go to the training room? How could they continue the pleasant conversation if he didn't ask? How unfair, woo-woo. Luckily, Lin Yuhei wasn't stupid and quickly realized his daughter's focus was on the training room. Miaomiao, isn't your fleet's training room good? Lin Miaomiao nodded hurriedly. Our fleet is just starting out, and we don't even have a training room yet. Right now, everyone has to figure out how to train on their own. The conditions in the Shenyu fleet are so bad. Lin Yuhei was shocked. I should have asked you to change your choice earlier. Your big brother is so unreasonable. He lured you over even though he knew the situation was going to be like this. Lin Yuhei was furious and said he would definitely find the culprit to account. No, that was my own choice. It's none of my big brother's business. Lin Miaomiao wanted to ask her father to sponsor a free training ground, not to draw hatred from her big brother. Lin Yuhei snorted softly, not criticizing his son any further. Instead, he inquired about Lin Miaomiao's plans. So, what are you thinking now? Do you need me to contact your uncle to arrange for a fleet? No, I'm a mecha pilot. How can I abandon my duties over such a small setback? Lin Miaomiao shook her head like a rattle. I'll persevere. I'll overcome any difficulties, since you insist. Fine, Lin Yuhei offered no further urgency. But, I can't do without training facilities. Let me think about it. Lin Miaomiao was overjoyed. Now she could tell her father about her plans. She just wanted a large, free room. The fleet would definitely cover the mecha restoration costs. Dad, I heard other fleets practice on StarNet, Lin Miaomiao said. I saw the Heguang Mecha Training Club has many large training rooms online. How about you lend me one? I don't need any training equipment, no, Lin Yuhei said without hesitation. As a good father, how could he be so stingy? He wanted the best for his precious daughter, so a mecha training club was the way to go. Lin Miaomiao had no idea what Lin Yuhei was thinking. She assumed he felt a bit of a disadvantage by providing the Shenyu fleet with a free venue, and so she felt a little disappointed. However, she didn't want to force it. After all, this was already a losing proposition. So, Lin Miaomiao smiled faintly and said, no, forget it. Dad, aren't you home yet? Lin Yuhei was mulling over the mecha training club when he casually replied, yeah, I was having dinner out with someone. Lin Miaomiao's eyes lit up. Man or woman? Woman, Lin Yuhei replied, then noticed his daughter's strange expression and said with a mixture of laughter and tears, what are you imagining? She's a client of the company, I'm not imagining anything. Even if she's a client, she's a woman, Lin Miaomiao muttered. Her uncle got married, no, it was her uncle who got married, and now it was Dad's turn. Why did she feel so sad? She's already married, Lin Yuhei said helplessly. What? You're attracted to a married woman? Lin Miaomiao was upset. Dad, please don't let it get to you. Being a mistress is wrong. It's a bad reputation. Lin Yuhei's face darkened. Miaomiao, is that how you think of your father? Even after all the explanations and denials, his daughter still thought the wrong thing. With his looks and wealth, women flocked to him at the touch of a finger. Why would he need to be a mistress? Lin Miaomiao blinked. Did she misunderstand? But didn't Dad always avoid dining alone with clients? Never mind, it's more important to appease Dad. Lin Miaomiao thought about it and said with a silly smile, Dad, you misunderstood. I'm just concerned about you and afraid that you'll make a mistake. Lin Yuhei glanced at her and said, come on, it's already said, it's too late to go back on it. I've been out for too long, I'll hang up the video first. After that, the video call was hung up. Lin Miaomiao wanted to cry but had no tears. She was really unlucky. She didn't get the free training room, but offended her dad instead. Should she call again to apologize? After hesitating for a while, Lin Miaomiao still didn't make a move. It's unethical to interrupt people's meals all the time. It's better to ask her eldest brother for advice. So Lin Miaomiao called Lin Xianhao again, and Lin Xianhao answered quickly, what's the matter? Can't I talk to you if there's nothing wrong? Lin Miaomiao asked unhappily. Lin Xianhao was stunned for a moment, then quickly smiled and said, how could that be? I'm just wondering why you didn't come directly to the dormitory to find me, and why you sent a video message. Who knows if you are in the dormitory or the nail studio? I don't want to make a wasted trip. Lin Miaomiao curled her lips. Miaomiao is right, Lin Xianhao responded good-temperedly. He could see that his sister was in a bad mood and came to pick a fight. Lin Xianhao was also very depressed. Normally, his temper was not the best, but when he met his sister, he lost his temper. He let her beat him and scold him, and he was quite happy in his heart. He was almost a masochist. Seeing that Lin Xianhao was like this, Lin Miaomiao didn't know how to continue to throw a tantrum, so she could only say hesitantly, I think I made Dad angry just now. Impossible, Lin Xianhao said without thinking. Dad will be angry with you unless the sun rises from the west, but he is really angry. Lin Miaomiao emphasized weakly. Lin Xianhao was curious. What did you do? Lin Miaomiao looked up at the sky. Nothing, actually. He just had dinner with a woman. At this point, Lin Miaomiao hesitated. Her suspicion seemed foolish. She'd be laughed at if she spoke them out. And then you scolded him and told him not to have a girlfriend, Lin Xianhao speculated. No, why would I do such a thing? Lin Miaomiao glared at her brother unhappily. This was an insult to her character. Was she really that selfish? It's not like I haven't done it before, Lin Miaomiao muttered softly. Receiving his sister's murderous gaze, he quickly corrected himself. I misremembered. I was the one who did that. Keep going, Lin Miaomiao nodded in satisfaction, then said with a bitter face, Dad said he was accompanying a client, and he was married. I had a brainwave and told him not to be a mistress, saying it was shameful. Dad was going to be a mistress? Lin Miaomiao was stunned at first, but then he realized what was going on and couldn't help but burst into laughter. What on earth could Miaomiao be thinking? To have such thoughts? No wonder Dad was angry. Lin Miaomiao was angry. Bad brother, I came to you for advice, not to entertain you. Angrily, Lin Miaomiao said, I just told Dad that the training equipment here is in short supply. Dad said that Big Brother knew this and still brought me here. I must teach you a lesson. Lin Miaomiao's laughter stopped abruptly, and he felt bad all over. Who wants this treacherous brother's sister? Free. Chapter 169 Rock Climbing Incident. Having angered her father and offended her eldest brother, Lin Miaomiao felt that she had instantly become adorable, like the invincible Ultraman. Of course, with Aoksu, she was no different from Ultraman. Since her father and eldest brother had both hung up the phone angrily, Lin Miaomiao, who didn't want to be scolded, decided to wait until they calmed down before apologizing. So the days passed peacefully like this for several days. One day, Lin Miaomiao had just finished running 15 laps, and when she passed by her brother, she found that he didn't even glare at her. She immediately felt that the day of reconciliation was not far away, and her mood improved a little. Because she was so happy, Lin Miaomiao didn't even take a break. She frog jumped 3 laps in one go, and then ran to the steep cliff that had been flattened next to the training ground. After being here for nearly a month, Lin Miaomiao has also grown from being afraid of rock climbing at the beginning to being able to climb up with her eyes closed. Of course, it wasn't that she'd grown incredibly brave in just 2 weeks, it was simply because the security at Interstellar Mecha was incredibly well prepared. Not only were there safety ropes and super soft mats on the ground, but there were also the flying security robots that constantly hovered over the new recruits. Halfway through the climb, Lin Miaomiao felt a wave of fatigue. Sweat streamed down her forehead, some even running into her eyes, blurring them. But she didn't dare reach out to wipe it away. The flattened mountainside was paved with a meter-thick layer of the strongest reinforced concrete, cluttered with countless smooth, delicate metal protrusions. Holding on with 2 hands was fine, holding on with just one would easily have meant falling. Fortunately, the metal was stainless steel, sufficiently strong and resistant to damage. Otherwise, if too many people fell, what use would a few security robots have been? Lin Miaomiao thought with considerable relief. A sudden scream came from not far away. Lin Miaomiao steadied herself and turned to look. A female soldier had accidentally fallen. The security robot was very fast and caught her in time. A gloating laugh came from the side. It's actually a veteran. Even none of us new recruits fell, but she fell first. She must be so embarrassed now. Lin Miaomiao didn't know the person who spoke, but she had a vague impression of her. She seemed to be from the coming 3rd Military Academy. Her name was Gu Xiaomen. She had a nice name, but her temperament was a bit dark. She was happy to see others in trouble. There are people like this everywhere, Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but sigh. However, this matter had nothing to do with her, so she didn't bother to pay attention. However, just as there are people who gloat over other people's misfortunes, there are also people who love to stand up for the weak. Someone immediately made a dissatisfied accusation, you are from the same fleet, and you are so happy that someone fell down. Then when you go to the battlefield in the future and a comrade gets into trouble, will you also clap your hands and be happy? That's right, the senior just now probably lost his shot because he was not feeling well. It would be fine if you didn't care, but you actually said something sarcastic. Be careful of being punished by Brother Liu. Lin Miaomiao's classmate Yun Yan also jumped out. Lin Miaomiao smiled secretly. Yun Yan has always been a little heroine with an overflowing sense of justice. She would jump out when she encountered something unfair. Gu Xiaomeng said unhappily, this is not on the battlefield. How can it be so serious? Stop scaring me. Having said that, Gu Xiaomeng still didn't dare to make up anything and quickened her speed to climb up. You deserve to be punished for saying something like that, Yun Yan snorted. You're climbing so fast, aren't you afraid of falling? Perhaps Yun Yan had a knack for being a badass, But before she could finish her words, Gu Xiaoming lost her grip and fell. A similar scream echoed through the air, and the security robot caught Gu Xiaoming. After being dropped to the ground, Gu Xiaoming quickly regained consciousness. Instead of frightenedly returning to her dorm to rest, she stood there and lashed out, cursing, "Yun Yan, you meddler. You actually cursed me and made me fall. I didn't mean to," Yun Yan said weakly, her voice so low that Gu Xiaoming couldn't hear from below. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. "Of course you didn't mean to. If curses worked, we wouldn't be mecha pilots anymore. Wouldn't it be better to learn the art of curses?" "That's true," Yun Yan said, reassured. "No one will believe him, just climb." "Who would believe her?" demanded the person who had first accused Gu Xiaoming. Lin Miaomiao then remembered that too much time had been wasted. She was afraid that she would not be able to cook in time, so she hurriedly continued her rock climbing. No matter how anxious she was, Lin Miaomiao still climbed up steadily. When she reached the top of the mountain, it was already past 5 o'clock. Lin Miaomiao hurriedly ran down the mountain from the other side. Lolly and other robots had already prepared the ingredients. When she saw Lin Miaomiao walk in, Lolly's electronic eyes flashed and said, "Master Miaomiao, you are 10 minutes late today." "Is something wrong?" "Nothing," Lin Miaomiao said casually. "The last training delayed me for a while." "Lolly, please help me fill the soup pot with water to 70% and put it on the third energy stove." Lolly went to work, and Lin Miaomiao took the clean pot and started cooking. For lunch today, she was going to make stir-fried pork with peas, boiled fish fillets and scrambled eggs with onions. The last time bitter melon and onions were served together, it had left many people feeling irritated. Although the bitter melon had been sautéed to a less bitter note, some people were still accustomed to not eating them together, and Lin Miaomiao received numerous text messages protesting. The protesters said, "Sautéing bitter melon and onions together is already a rip-off. Please, Chef Lin, have mercy and don't serve them together again." Although Lin Miaomiao lamented the increasing number of picky eaters, she nonetheless obeyed and changed the recipe. If the protests were few, it wouldn't matter, but with so many, it was impossible to ignore them. She started by sautéing the peas and onions, which are easier to cook and don't use chili peppers. She then poached the fish. Yi Hongwen walked in before the fish was even done. "Not ready yet," Yi Hongwen was surprised. Lin Miaomiao replied with a blank expression, "I was delayed rock climbing." Yi Hongwen nodded without further comment, then went to his bowl to serve his food. Since Lin Miaomiao took over as chef, he'd been much more active in eating. "This is the real privilege," Lin Miaomiao complained secretly. The boiled fish fillet was out of the pot, and the people who wanted to eat came to line up. Lin Miaomiao didn't want to bring food to the dormitory in front of so many people, so she only filled it for herself. After carrying the food out of the cafeteria, Lin Miaomiao was about to find a table to sit down in the restaurant, and accidentally met Yi Hongwen's eyes without any emotion. The two looked at each other for a long time. Yi Hongwen had no intention of looking away, and Lin Miaomiao knew that he had something to do. After hesitating for a while, Lin Miaomiao still walked over with the food. After Lin Miaomiao sat down, Yi Hongwen withdrew his gaze and continued to eat, with no intention of speaking at all. Could it be that her feeling was wrong? Lin Miaomiao began to doubt herself. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 170: The Snowmelt Fleet Visits. For some reason, no one came to the table where Lin Miaomiao and Yi Hongwen were sitting. Even Liu Kaoyer and Yu Zixin had found another table. After they finished their meal in silence, Yi Hongwen said, "The deputy captain of the Rongsa fleet will be visiting with some guests this afternoon. I'd like to trouble you to prepare a separate dinner for them tonight. I'll let you know the exact number of guests." "Huh? Our fleet's supposed to visit each other?" Lin Miaomiao asked, a little surprised. Yi Hongwen shook his head and said something seemingly irrelevant. "The relocation has run into resistance." Yi Hongwen had submitted his application nearly a week ago, but there was no sign of approval. Instead, he received news of a visit from the deputy captain of the Rongsa fleet, which gave him a bad feeling. Why? Lin Miaomiao didn't understand the twists and turns here. She didn't understand how a visit from a guest had anything to do with relocation. Don't worry about that. Just prepare the dinner for them tonight, Yi Hongwen said, not wanting to reveal too much. The matter hadn't been finalized, and the relocation hadn't been made public. He had merely sent Luo Cheng and technicians to repair the broken door, but hadn't relocated ahead of schedule. Yi Hongwen didn't say anything, but Lin Miaomiao figured it out. Are they trying to seize our new base? The application hasn't been approved, so we can't claim it yet, Yi Hongwen said helplessly. The melting snow fleet has good connections with the higher-ups, so there was no guarantee of victory. Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but feel frustrated. That's just too shameless. Why treat them to such good food and drinks? Let number one just steam the buns. Lin Miaomiao thought it was good enough not to fight back against those who came to steal. Such a cautious reception was a waste of food. Yi Hongwen was speechless. Do you want them to see how poor the sinking moon fleet is? Pretending to be poor wasn't a bad thing, but the people coming this time were special, and Yi Hongwen didn't want to show weakness. Okay, I get it. I'll treat them well, Lin Miaomiao agreed. A more substantial meal would also be nice, it just depended on whether they could handle it. Yi Hongwen finished his words and prepared to leave, and Lin Miaomiao didn't try to stop him. Because of the visit from the deputy captain of the Rongsa fleet, afternoon training had been cancelled. Everyone stayed in their rooms awaiting notification. Once the guests arrived, they had to line up on the platform to welcome them. Back in the dormitory, Liu Kaoyer and the others were discussing the Rongsu fleet. The Central Corps had a total of 24 fleets, with Rongsu ranked 9th, and everyone was curious about their purpose. Lin Miaomiao, knowing the so-called guests had ill intentions, felt uncomfortable and ran back to her room to sleep. The Rongsa fleet arrived at 2 p.m. sharp. Lin Miaomiao was so sound asleep at the time that she didn't hear the text message announcing their arrival. It was Liu Kaoyer who woke her by knocking on the door. Normally, everyone wore their army green training uniforms, but today, to line up for the guests, they changed into their unworn black military uniforms. When they hurried to the boarding passage, everyone was already lined up, standing in 2 rows on either side of the landing passage. Yi Hongwen and several fleet managers stood facing the landing gate, while Lin Miaomiao and the other 2 girls hurriedly lined up at the end of the line. By this time, the warships of the melting snow fleet had not only landed, but their hatches had already opened, and an automatic retractable ladder had been deployed to connect them to the landing port. Not long after, a handsome young man in a white military uniform appeared at the warship's entrance, followed by about 30 soldiers in black uniforms. The handsome young man looked about the same age as Yi Hongwen, but his temperament was completely different. If Yi Hongwen was like unmelting ice, the handsome young man was like a warm and gentle spring breeze. As soon as he emerged from the ship's gate, the handsome young man smiled and said, "Captain Yi personally led a group to greet you." "I'm truly flattered," Yi Hongwen replied coldly. "Vice Captain Gu, you're too polite. It's a rare visit to Shanghai, so of course we extend a warm welcome." Gu Qingheng was merely a vice captain, and large fleets often have more than one vice captain. As the captain of the Shanghai fleet, Yi Hongwen didn't need to personally greet him, the vice captain could have done so. However, the vice captain of the Shanghai fleet had requested leave for family matters a few days ago, leaving Yi Hongwen to go alone. Actually, there's no need to be so polite. After all, we're old classmates. Wouldn't it be better to be more casual? How about we just call each other by our first names, Gu Qingheng said with a smile. No thanks, Yi Hongwen refused without hesitation. Deputy Captain Gu, you've come with bad intentions. It's really hurtful to talk about our friendship at this time, Gu Qingheng said regretfully. Captain Yi, you're quite right. I guess we'll have to talk about our friendship some other time, Yi Hongwen sneered, fearing that even if there was time, there wouldn't be any time to discuss it. Lin Miaomiao, standing at the end of the line, couldn't hear the conversation between the 2 people in front of her. She thought Gu Qingheng's face looked familiar, but she couldn't place where she'd seen him before. Finally, she gave up and simply counted the number of people from Rongsu. After the welcome ceremony, the Rongsa fleet was led to the reception room. As he passed Lin Miaomiao, Gu Qingheng paused, looked at her tenderly for a moment, and then left without saying anything. After the guests left, the members of the Shanghai fleet who were not on reception duty disbanded. Because it was still early, Lin Miaomiao decided to go back to the dormitory to think about a menu for the evening reception, and then go to the kitchen to work at 3 o'clock. On the way back to the dormitory, Liu Kaoyer asked curiously, "Miaomiao, Do you know Rongsu's deputy captain? Why did he stop and look at you for so long just now? Lin Miaomiao was also a little puzzled. I don't know him, and I don't know what's going on with that guy. Could it be that he is attracted by my beauty? The latter sentence was just a joke made by Lin Miaomiao, but she always had a deadpan expression. People who were not familiar with her didn't understand it all and just thought she was narcissistic. Renjia Ojao, who was traveling with him, thought the same thing and couldn't help but complain. Lin Miaomiao, you're so shameless. I've never seen anyone praise themselves like that. Lin Miaomiao looked at her speechlessly. What's wrong with me praising myself? Are you trying to meddle in other people's business? Renjia Ojao rolled her eyes at her. Who do you think wants to meddle in your business? I just can't stand it anymore. If you want to be narcissistic, at least consider the occasion. Don't you see how many people you've scared? There were relatively few female soldiers, all living in the same dormitory building, so there were many people traveling together. Lin Miaomiao looked around and saw that many people had frightened expressions on their faces, which made her feel embarrassed. Liu Kaoyer and the other two girls also noticed it and looked at Lin Miaomiao with sympathy. It was a rare joke, but she actually scared her friends. It was really unlucky. Miaomiao was just joking. Liu Kaoyer stepped forward to explain on her friend's behalf. Although she always looks expressionless, she actually has a cheerful heart. Fang Licken nodded in agreement. Miaomiao is a good kid and loves to joke around, but she's just lacked facial expression since she was a child. The frightened friends finally understood. It turned out that Lin Miaomiao wasn't aloof, but had a problem with her facial nerves. She was mentally ill. Chapter 171, War of Words. By the time Lin Miaomiao was reportedly going insane, Yi Hongwen had already brought Gu Qingheng into the fleet's reception room. The ever-hospitable Captain Yi had Liu Yifei and the other serve each guest a glass of boiled water. Gu Qingheng's lips twitched as his fingertips lightly touched the scalding glass. Captain Yi, are you serving guests boiling water? It was already June, and how could such scalding water be drinkable? Even if there weren't any fruit drinks, there should at least be a glass of iced water. Yi Hongwen remained silent, his face sullen. Liu Yifei, however, beamed. Deputy Captain Gu is truly clever. People these days don't understand the art of maintaining good health. When it gets hot, they crave colder temperatures, unaware that the conflict between cold and heat is the most common cause of illness. The hotter it gets, the more you should drink hot drinks. Gu Qingheng was speechless. Was serving boiling water a consideration for their health? But this is too hot, a member of the snow-melting fleet said unhappily. You are doing this on purpose. How can it be too hot? Liu Yifei was very surprised. The boiled water has been left to cool for a while. It's probably 60 degrees at most. 60 degrees is not hot. Why not just raise it to 100 degrees? The snow-melting team member said angrily. Liu Yifei muttered, I want to too, but the fleet can't afford good glass cups. If we just fill them with freshly boiled water, our cups will be ruined. You, shameless, Qiaomu, shut up, Gu Qingheng said gently. I've already told you before you came here, this place is not like our fleet's base where we can have everything you want. You have to be more considerate of other people's difficulties. Qiaomu, who was so angry that he couldn't speak, immediately revived and said arrogantly, Don't worry, Deputy Captain, we won't laugh at our friendly brothers who are financially tight. After all, they are short of training equipment, and it's normal for their living conditions to be a little difficult. Gu Qingheng was satisfied with what he heard, but he scolded lightly. Qiaomu, what nonsense are you talking about? This time it was Liu Yifei's turn to be upset. What the guy surnamed Qiao said was so right that he didn't know how to refute it. Seeing Liu Yifei's defeat, Yi Hongwen said indifferently, Deputy Captain Gu came to our Shenaiyu to discuss this? Could it be that he saw that our lives were too difficult and wanted to show his warmth? You can say that. Gu Qingheng smiled gently. Oh, Yi Hongwen raised his eyebrows. Then I wonder how you show your warmth. I heard that your fleet recently raided a pirate nest, and it's very close to Shaoyin Star, which used to be a waste star. Gu Qingheng asked instead of answering. Yi Hongwen sneered. You have all received the news, so why are you asking when you already know the answer? If Gu Qingheng had not received confirmed news, why would he have come to the Shenaiyu fleet on purpose? He just didn't know who leaked the news to them. Despite his subtle plan being ruthlessly exposed, Gu Qingheng remained unfazed. He knew Yi Hongwen well and had anticipated the situation, so he addressed the situation directly. I've seen your application to change base, but I feel something is amiss. Yi Hongwen didn't ask why, Simply stating calmly, we captured the base of the crystal pirates, and we have first choice. I don't deny that. Gu Qingheng had come here precisely for this very reason. Shen Yu had first choice, and it was impossible for Rongzhu to bypass them. The most they could do was delay the approval of Shen Yu's application. Since you agree, then there seems to be no need to discuss this matter, Yi Hongwen said. That's not right, Gu Qingheng said, his smile vanishing as he stared directly at Yi Hongwen. If this matter doesn't need to be discussed, then why are we sitting here? The pirate base on the abandoned planet was well built, but Rongzhu's fleet base was several times better. Rongzhu's desire to change base was simply because he had his eye on the abandoned planet, which no longer harbored high-level marine beasts. Powerful fleets rarely want to concentrate on a single planet, even on Shaoyin, the political center of the Federation. With the exception of Rongsu, all 9 of the Central Core top 10 fleets have independent planets. Rongsu's fleet also desires a separate planet, but while the Central Core agrees to allow fleets to find independent planets, it forbids them from basing themselves too far from Shaoyin, lest they be unable to arrive in time if something were to happen. There are only about 20 small planets orbiting Shaoyin, and most are uninhabitable due to harsh environments or an overabundance of high-level alien beasts. The rest are occupied by other fleets, making it impossible for Rongsu to seize them without a legitimate excuse. Now, with the once dangerous waste planet now safe, how could Rongsu not be tempted? I think you've misunderstood, Yi Hongwen said, a hint of sarcasm rising from his lips. We're sitting here because you're my old classmate. You've asked so sincerely for a visit, I can't just turn you down coldly. Gu Qingheng narrowed his eyes and asked tentatively, are you dissatisfied with the terms of the exchange? It would be strange if you were satisfied, wouldn't it? Yi Hongwen said. 100 sets of training equipment and 20 million credits in exchange for a planet, that's a bit too much? Logically, our offer is indeed a bit low, but given Shen Yu's current situation, even if we move to a new base, I'm afraid we won't have the financial resources to build it. It's more cost-effective to exchange some training equipment and credits, Gu Qingheng advised. Only when we improve our strength can we have a better base? Yi Hongwen suddenly stood up, looking down at Gu Qingheng. So you're just relying on your strength to take advantage of the situation? Gu Qingheng was stunned. That was the plan, but Yi Hongwen didn't need to be so blunt, did he? No, Gu Qingheng tried to explain. We just want both sides to get the most favorable outcome, Yi Hongwen said impatiently. Okay, no need to explain. What's beneficial to both sides? It's just beneficial to you, Rongsu. Other fleets are not as stingy as you. I'm saying this, you want to destroy the planet? Unless your captain becomes a marshal. After that, Yi Hongwen said he had something to do and had to leave first. He only instructed Liu Yifei, entertain the guests well. I have asked Miaomiao to prepare dinner for the guests. Take them to the small private room upstairs in the restaurant at 5:30. After Yi Hongwen left, the people of the Rongsu fleet immediately exploded. What does Captain Yi mean by this? He ran away before the matter was settled. Do you look down on our Rongsu fleet? Liu Yifei smiled. How could that be? The matter has been settled. Our captain must be busy and has to leave first. You should all have some tea to calm down. The Rongsu fleet refused to listen. They considered their willingness to discuss matters a great honor to Shen Yu. Shen Yu's reluctance to do so clearly showed she didn't take Rongsu seriously. Seeing the Rongsu fleet's growing indignation, Gu Qingheng quickly interrupted them, saying, all right, enough talking. Let's end this now. I'll report this to the captain when I get back. Chapter 172 Hot Dinner. The discussion was at a dead end, and the members of the Rongsu fleet were clamoring to go back, but were suppressed by Gu Qingheng. Gu Qingheng said, after all, we have come to the Shen Yu fleet. Captain Yi is so hospitable, so why should we refuse him? Although the deal didn't go through today, the matter is still undecided. Maybe Captain Yi will change his mind. These words successfully convinced the members of the Rongsu fleet who came with him. They all felt that what their deputy captain said made sense. Maybe Yi Hongwen would think it through soon. Why should they go back so early? What the members didn't know was that what Yi Hongwen said was difficult to change. Gu Qingheng didn't stay with such expectations at all. He just wanted to taste Lin Miaomiao's cooking. Gu Qingheng didn't know when Lin Miaomiao opened the Lin family restaurant. When he found out, Lin Miaomiao was no longer the chef. He didn't want to reveal his true identity, so he never tasted Lin Miaomiao's cooking. Tonight, Gu Qingheng finally had the opportunity to taste the delicious food made by Lin Miaomiao, and he was very happy. At 5:30 p.m., Liu Yifei promptly led the members of the Rongsa fleet into a small private dining room in the restaurant. Out of courtesy, Yi Hongwen also joined them, having already dined in the cafeteria. He only needed to eat a few bites at the banquet. Thinking of Lin Miaomiao's awkward reminder to eat is fill in the cafeteria and avoid the banquet dishes, Yi Hongwen couldn't help but smile. Gu Qingheng was in for an unforgettable dinner. 3 tables were set up in the small private room, each seating 15. Even with the Rongsa fleet members, Yi Hongwen, Liu Yifei, and their companions, it didn't feel crowded. After they were seated, female soldiers from the fleet served as waitresses, bringing the dishes to the table. There were 16 dishes in total, including steamed pork with rice flour, braised pork with preserved mustard greens, stewed beef brisket with taro, mayo xuwang, Chinese herbal medicine with preserved vegetables, spicy chicken wings, boiled fish fillets, roast duck, and stir-fried green beans. All of them looked incredibly tempting. The members of the Rongsa fleet were practically staring in shock. Qiao, who had been furious just now, couldn't help but say, "It's a good thing we didn't leave early, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to enjoy all these delicious dishes." Everyone nodded frantically. Their fleet had hired a chef, but his skills were limited, and the chef was rather lazy. He'd been serving the same simple dishes over and over again, and they'd grown tired of them. "Everyone, please help yourself," Yi Hongwen, the host, said calmly. Then, everyone eagerly picked up their chopsticks and began to dig in. Gu Qingheng, who couldn't handle spicy food, ignored the bright red dishes like the boiled fish fillet and opted for the tempting steamed pork with rice flour. But one bite was met with a burst of numbing spiciness, and he froze. Could someone explain why the seemingly normal-looking steamed pork with rice flour was so spicy? Glancing at the dishes on the table, more than half were laden with chili peppers. You knew they were spicy without even tasting them. The remaining half were normal in color, with no hint of chili peppers. He wondered if they had the same unique flavor as the steamed pork with rice flour. These dishes were made by Lin Miaomiao. Gu Qingheng was unwilling to put down his chopsticks after just one bite, so he tried all the dishes that looked non-spicy. In the end, he found that, except for one dish that was not spicy, all the other dishes were extremely spicy. What made Gu Qingheng most depressed was that the only dish that was not spicy was the bitter melon fried with meat, which was half-cooked and bitter to death. Gu Qingheng put down his chopsticks helplessly. If he continued to eat, he might have to go to the infirmary at night. "Why doesn't Deputy Captain Gu eat anymore?" Yi Hongwen asked with a look of concern. "This is a dish carefully prepared by our fleet cook. She will be sad if there are too many leftovers." Gu Qingheng gritted his teeth. If it was another cook, he would not care so much, but that cook was Lin Miaomiao. At this time, he was a little suspicious that Yi Hongwen knew something. Some people in the Rongsa fleet also loved spicy food. Once they started, they couldn't stop eating, even if it made them sweat profusely. Fortunately, there was cold tea on the table to relieve the spiciness. With the exception of Gu Qingheng, everyone else was eating with great enthusiasm. Gu Qingheng reluctantly took a few chopsticks of food. Seeing that Yi Hongwen didn't eat much either, he said, "Captain Yi, don't just focus on entertaining the guests. What if you don't eat yourself? What if you get starving?" "Thank you for your concern, Deputy Captain Gu, but I just went to the kitchen to check on the progress of dinner, and Miaomiao dragged me to try all the dishes. Now I'm full." Yi Hongwen casually picked up a piece of braised pork and ate it slowly. Gu Qingheng retreated. The host had bluntly said that he was full. How could he, as a guest, continue to urge others to eat more? Would that be turning the tables? He would never do such a stupid thing. At this moment, Liu Yifei, who was sweating profusely from eating, looked up and said, "Deputy Captain Gu, come eat quickly. Don't be polite. Miaomiao rarely makes these delicious dishes. Today, I'm also taking advantage of you." After saying this, Liu Yifei, still worried that Gu Qingheng would be too reserved, enthusiastically picked up half a bowl of taro stewed beef brisket and 2 large slices of braised pork belly. Gu Qingheng's smile froze. Not to mention how spicy the dishes were, just looking at Liu Yifei's dirty chopsticks covered with saliva, how could he still eat? He really shouldn't have stayed for this meal. Gu Qingheng was really in tears. In the end, Gu Qingheng still didn't eat those dishes. When Liu Yifei tried to persuade him again, Gu Qingheng finally told the truth. "My stomach had some problems some time ago, and I can't stand too much stimulation now." Liu Yifei was stunned when he heard that, and then said unhappily, "Why didn't you tell me earlier? If I knew you couldn't eat it, I wouldn't have picked up the braised pork for you, so I didn't have enough to eat." Gu Qingheng, the guests said that they couldn't eat spicy food, and Yi Hongwen couldn't say nothing, so he said expressionlessly, "Since Deputy Captain Gu can't eat spicy food, I'll go to the kitchen to see if Miaomiao is still there, and ask her to cook 2 dishes for you separately. Miaomiao has gone back to rest after work, boss. You might as well send a video call to ask her to go to the kitchen," Liu Yifei reminded at the right time, "but that girl is too tricky, boss. You have to be prepared to be embarrassed." Gu Qingheng hurriedly stopped him. "Forget it, I'm not hungry anyway, so let's not bother." He and Lin Miaomiao hadn't officially met in real life yet. If he bothered her just because he couldn't eat spicy food, Lin Miaomiao would probably be very dissatisfied with him. "It's okay. Guests are welcome. Miaomiao shouldn't mind the trouble," Yi Hongwen said. Yi Hongwen pretended to make a video call, but Gu Qingheng quickly held down his hand. "Really, no need. Captain Yi, if you keep being so polite, I'll have to leave immediately." Since the guest had already said so, Yi Hongwen stopped the remedial action without any burden. But Liu Yifei thought that the boss really wanted to make amends, so he said with a smile, "It seems that there are 2 non-spicy dishes in today's staff meal. Otherwise, I'll go see if there are any left. If there are, I'll bring them over to Vice Captain Gu." Qiao, whose face was flushed from the spiciness, said dissatisfiedly, "What does Captain Liu mean? He actually wants to give our vice captain leftovers to eat. Is this how you, Shen Yu, treat guests?" Liu Yifei had good intentions, but he was immediately furious when he heard Qiao say that. "What do you mean, Qiao? I treat you with delicious food and drinks, but you always complain that we are not treating you well enough." Qiao was about to retort, but Gu Qingheng interrupted him, saying, "I think Captain Liu is right. Qiao, you should just focus on eating. As for Captain Liu's suggestion, I think it's also good. I'll trouble you to make the trip." Chapter 173 Playing the Long Line to Catch a Big Fish. After dinner, the members of the Rongsa fleet were about to return. This time, Yi Hongwen didn't gather the team members for a farewell ceremony. He simply escorted Liu Yifei and the others to the boarding platform. Before boarding the ship, Gu Qingheng formally told Yi Hongwen, "Rongsa will not give up on the waste planet issue until there's a definitive conclusion. The conditions Captain Yi and I proposed today will remain valid. Please consider the current situation of the Shenyu fleet and think clearly about what you need most." Yi Hongwen said coldly, "I've already given you the answer. Even if the Shenyu fleet can't swallow the waste planet, it can still trade it for something good. At least other fleets aren't as stingy as you, Rongsu." Gu Qingheng couldn't help but grit his teeth. In fact, he also felt that the compensation proposed by Rongsu is too little, but these were all decided by the captain, and he had no choice. He only hoped that this time he could persuade the captain to increase the compensation. "Captain Yi, I'll come again," Gu Qingheng told Yi Hongwen. "Not only for the ownership of the wasted planet, but also for Lin Miaomiao. After all, they'd been friends online for so many years, and it was time to meet in person." Yi Hongwen was unsurprised. "Vice Captain Gu, welcome back next time." It was undeniable that the Shenyu fleet couldn't take over the wasted planet. After all, the Shenyu fleet was too small and underfunded to deploy defenses on the wasted planet. Therefore, the relocation Yi Hongwen had initially mentioned wasn't referring to the wasted planet. Furthermore, while the Crystal Pirates base was decent, most of their training equipment had been taken away by Ai Qing and the others, leaving Shenai without the need for an empty base. Therefore, Yi Hongwen's plan was to trade the wasted planet for a new base with complete training facilities. Rongsu's compensation fell short of his expectations, and the deal fell apart. After Rongsu's warships departed, Liu Yifei grew increasingly impatient. "Boss, you rejected them so bluntly, so why are they still refusing to give up?" Yi Hongwen gazed at the empty landing port, his lips curled slightly. "What we need is the persistence." With that, Yi Hongwen turned and left. "What do you mean?" Liu Yifei was stunned. The boss's words were too profound. He actually wanted them to seize the new base. "Idiot," Fan Lei, a fellow squad leader, scoffed. "Boss originally wanted those fleets to know about the abandoned planet. Otherwise, why would Luo Cheng send his men there every day?" Liu Yifei retorted unhappily. "Didn't the boss say Luo Cheng should clean up that underground city and repair the doors? If that's the case, Why would repairing a few doors take so many days? Fan Lei pointedly pointed out the point. Liu Yifei couldn't argue now, but he still didn't understand. Why would the boss let other fleets know about the abandoned planet? Does he want them to take it? Fan Lei nodded. That's exactly it. Is the boss crazy? Liu Yifei asked, eyes wide with disbelief. Everyone's vying for their own planet, but he wants to give it away. When Zixi, who rarely spoke, couldn't help but sigh. The boss has no choice. Having your own planet is good, but Shenyu is undefendable. Once a fleet has its own planet, it must invest energy in its care. Not only must effective defenses be deployed on the planet, but sufficient personnel must also be maintained at the base at all times. You can't afford to have everyone out on missions while the base is taken over by someone else. Don't assume there are other fleets nearby. They have no obligation to defend you. Kind-hearted individuals can even offer a warning. If they encounter malicious individuals eager to see their fleet in trouble, they can act as heroes at the last moment. Liu Yifei had been in a good mood the past few days over the relocation, and hadn't given any thought to these matters. When Zixi's reminder immediately deflated him. Could it be that the boss's talk of a new base was a lie? That's not the case, Fan Lei said sternly. If they want the abandoned planet, they naturally have to offer us generous compensation. One planet in exchange for a base and a batch of training equipment isn't too much. Liu Yifei suddenly understood. No wonder the boss didn't kick the Rongsu people out today, but instead treated them politely. The boss was indirectly conveying the Shenyu fleet's stance. As long as the compensation was good enough, the abandoned planet issue could be negotiated. The Rongsu fleet has already moved, so the other fleets wanting it should get impatient too, when Zixi said, feeling a headache. It's going to be a busy period again. Following the Rongsu fleet's precedent, several other fleets subsequently approached, each offering better and better compensation, but still failing to meet Yihongwen's minimum standards, and so were all rejected without exception. Lin Miaomiao had been busy these days. Every time guests arrived, she had to prepare a meal. Due to Lin Miaomiao's dark side, the dishes were always spicy. Yihongwen had also taken to eating in the kitchen before the guests began, rarely picking up his chopsticks during the banquet. Then, Lin Miaomiao came to her senses. Far from being disgusted by these malicious guests, their captain had actually welcomed them, much to her confusion. When the melting snow fleet came for a second visit, Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but ask Yihongwen, why are they here again? Because the fate of the waste planet is still undecided, Yihongwen casually replied. Lin Miaomiao was frustrated. I mean, didn't we reject them last time? Maybe you weren't firm enough, so they were here again. Yihongwen remained calm. Being too firm won't work. If they don't come, we'll suffer a huge loss. Understand? I don't understand. Lin Miaomiao shook her head honestly. It doesn't matter if you don't understand now, you will know it soon. Yihongwen no longer explained, but only reminded Lin Miaomiao, prepare a few light dishes tonight, don't make them like before. I know, Lin Miaomiao said depressedly. I've been busy cooking these days and I don't even have time to train. I'm going to fall behind in training again. During this period, guests came frequently, and Yihongwen no longer asked the team members to go on the platform to line up to welcome any fleet. Everyone has resumed normal training. Only Lin Miaomiao has the heavy responsibility of cooking and cannot train with everyone. Yihongwen soothed her, this matter is almost over. I'll work overtime with you in a few days to catch up on the progress. Lin Miaomiao suddenly felt her face getting hot, and she quickly lowered her head and pretended to be calm, saying, who asked you to accompany me? I dare not trouble you, Captain. Yihongwen raised his eyebrows, but said nothing more. Seeing that it was time to start the meal, he prepared to leave. When he was about to leave the kitchen, he remembered something. Miaomiao, Rongsu's deputy captain may come to see you later. Lin Miaomiao looked at Yihongwen in confusion. Why is he looking for me? Does he think my cooking is good and wants to poach me? Yihongwen was speechless. He wants to poach me, but it's not because of your cooking skills. Why then? Lin Miaomiao was puzzled. Because your name is Lin Miaomiao, and he is Gu Qingheng. Lin Miaomiao, so Rongsu's deputy captain is actually an acquaintance? Chapter 174. The conditions have been agreed. The Rongsu fleet was determined to capture the abandoned planet, so in just a few days, this was Gu Qingheng's second visit to Shenyu. This time, Gu Qingheng felt confident, as their captain had relented, no longer holding out for a small price in exchange for a planet. Instead, He offered Shen Yu the Rongsu base, 200 sets of physical training equipment, and 20 million credits as compensation. After the meeting, Yi Hongwen's attitude had indeed changed. While he didn't agree on the spot, he didn't refuse either, saying he would discuss it with the other junior officers of the fleet. After dinner, Gu Qingheng tasted the bland dishes on the table and realized that their goal was almost achieved. Sure enough, after dinner, Yi Hongwen did not rush to send them away, but brought up the matter of the waste planet. We have already felt Rongsu's sincerity, but 200 sets of physical training equipment are too few. If you add 200 sets of mental training equipment, then the waste planet will be yours. Before Gu Qingheng could speak, Qiaomu couldn't help it. This is not enough. Why don't you go and grab it? Liu Yifei immediately jumped out to fight back. Don't make it sound like you are at a disadvantage. Why don't you go to the auction house to see how much a habitable planet is worth? That's different. The waste planet is not yours at all, Qiaomu argued. You just discovered that it has returned to normal. Liu Yifei rolled his eyes at him. Federal law stipulates that the discoverer of a habitable planet is the owner of the planet. Even the president will not erase the contribution of our Shen Yu. This, Qiaomu was speechless. He understood that Liu Yifei was right, but he was a little unwilling. The Shen Yu fleet was only the worst fleet in the Central Core. Why was it so lucky? Okay, Gu Qingheng said impatiently. Qiaomu, you go contact the captain, tell him Captain Yi's request, and ask for his opinion. Qiaomu was one of Captain Rongsu's confidants. Gu Qingheng was impatient to argue with the old man, so he simply handed the matter of contacting the captain to Qiaomu. You must make it clear. As long as we add another 200 sets of mental training equipment, we Shen Yu will agree to transfer the use rights of the waste planet. Liu Yifei emphasized proudly. If you are not happy, then go back to where you came from. Qiaomu went to the corner of the box with a dark face to contact his captain, but Gu Qingheng smiled at Yi Hongwen and said, I am an old acquaintance of your fleet's cook Lin Miaomiao. I was in a hurry last time and didn't have time to say hello. I wonder if you can allow me to meet her today. Sure. Yi Hongwen did not stop him, but said meaningfully, Deputy Captain Gu has a wide range of friends. He even knows our cook. Gu Qingheng smiled and said, of course, the more friends the better. What do you think, Captain Yi? Yi Hongwen did not answer, but asked Liu Yifei to contact Lin Miaomiao, tell her that Deputy Captain Gu wants to see her and ask her to come here within 10 minutes. Gu Qingheng's eyes flashed. Actually, there is no need to be so anxious. I can wait a little longer. Liu Yifei ignored his words and went out to contact Lin Miaomiao. As for Lin Miaomiao, after learning from Yi Hongwen that Gu Qingheng was the deputy captain of the Rongsu fleet, she felt very bad. Especially after hearing that Gu Qingheng was planning to recruit her to Rongsu. She secretly started to make plans. Even though the Rongsu fleet ranked 9th in the Central Core, Lin Miaomiao still preferred her current life. She had heard that other fleets were very strict with new recruits, and the daily training was packed with people, leaving them with no freedom at all, so she would definitely not go to Rongsu. However, she and Gu Qingheng had been friends for many years, and how to politely refuse was a big problem. So after returning to the dormitory, she kept thinking about this serious problem, but to no avail. When Liu Yifei sent a video message, Lin Miaomiao was rolling around on the bed with a sad face. Lin Miaomiao didn't notice that her clothes and hair were already messy, and just asked with a blank face, Brother Liu, is there anything wrong? Haha. Liu Yifei couldn't help laughing before he finished speaking. Miaomiao, what are you doing? How did you become a crazy woman? Lin Miaomiao realized then that she had forgotten to tidy up her image before answering the video call. In her excitement, she hung up the video call. After tidying up her appearance, Lin Miaomiao video called Liu Yifei. You haven't said what yet? Liu Yifei, having laughed enough, said, Lieutenant Gu of Rongsu wants to see you. He says we're old friends, and the boss wants you to be in the small private room within 10 minutes. Lin Miaomiao, having already received Yi Hongwen's reminder, wasn't surprised. She simply nodded, I understand. I'll be right there. Then, Lin Miaomiao quickly hung up the call. If she had been any slower, Liu Yifei might have asked how she knew Gu Qingheng. Before leaving, Lin Miaomiao looked in the mirror, debating whether to change clothes. But then, thinking that everyone in the fleet wore uniforms, it wouldn't make much difference anyway, she decided against it. By the time Lin Miaomiao arrived at the small private room on the second floor of the restaurant, Yi Hongwen and Gu Qingheng had already agreed on terms. Ultimately, The captain of the Rongsa fleet accepted Yi Hongwen's offer, adding 200 sets of mental training equipment. Now that the terms have been agreed upon, Captain Yi, please retrieve your application for a change of station as soon as possible and transfer the use rights of Xian Star to Rongsu, Gu Qingheng said with a gentle smile. Xian Star was the former name of the abandoned planet. Now that it is habitable, the name of the abandoned planet no longer exists, and it is natural to return to its original name. I can retrieve the application immediately, but the use rights of Xian Star cannot be transferred to you for the time being. Yi Hongwen was no fool. How could he transfer the use rights before receiving compensation? Gu Qingheng understood what Yi Hongwen meant, so he smiled and said, "We are old classmates, aren't you afraid that I will trick you?" Yi Hongwen was unmoved. "I can't trust an old classmate who fights me as soon as he meets. That's all in the past, and you're still thinking about it?" Gu Qingheng said a little aggrievedly. "Didn't we not fight each other the 2 times we met?" Yi Hongwen sneered. "It's not that I don't want to fight, it's because you can't beat me." Gu Qingheng was speechless. The one who knew him best was actually his mortal enemy Yi Hongwen. If Yi Hongwen's strength hadn't far surpassed his, perhaps both meetings would have started with a fight. Since Captain Yi is so insistent, we have no choice but to hand over the compensation for Shen Yu first, Gu Qingheng said depressedly. Every time he fought with Yi Hongwen, he was the only one who suffered in the end. Satisfied with the answer, Yi Hongwen turned to look at the door to the private room. "Miaomiao, come in. Don't linger outside. It's not good to delay Vice Captain Gu's return." Gu Qingheng's face darkened instantly. Miaomiao had already arrived. Would that mean he'd seen how completely suppressed Yi Hongwen was? Looking at the empty doorway, Gu Qingheng silently prayed that Yi Hongwen had made a mistake. Unfortunately, his thought was doomed to fail, as Lin Miaomiao, with a blank expression, turned out from the left side of the door. Chapter 175, Poaching in a Fair and Open Manner. As soon as she entered the room, Lin Miaomiao asked, "Boss, I heard someone wants to see me, and he said he's my old friend." Logically, she didn't know King Qiu's true identity, so Lin Miaomiao pretended to be clueless. Yi Hongwen was stunned for a moment, then he understood her thoughts and cooperated. "It's Deputy Captain Gu of the Rongsu fleet. He said he's your friend." Deputy Captain Gu. Lin Miaomiao looked at Gu Qingheng in surprise. Only captains and deputy captains could wear white military uniforms, so it was normal for Miaomiao to be able to accurately target the target. At least Gu Qingheng didn't realize she was acting. "I'm looking for you." Gu Qingheng smiled and took a step towards Lin Miaomiao. "Hello, I'm Gu Qingheng." Gu Qingheng smiled gently, his handsome face sparkling. Lin Miaomiao was close to this kind of drowning tenderness, and almost immersed in it and couldn't get out. Fortunately, Yi Hongwen's cold face caught her eye, and Lin Miaomiao immediately came to her senses. "Hello, I'm Lin Miaomiao. Shouldn't we recognize each other?" "No, we do," Gu Qingheng said, now that he had appeared, no longer attempting to conceal his identity. "You're not familiar with the name Gu Qingheng, so what about the name King Qiu?" Lin Miaomiao asked in shock. "Don't tell me you're King Qiu." "I'm King Qiu," Gu Qingheng confirmed. Hearing Gu Qingheng's admission of being King Qiu, Lin Miaomiao instantly became displeased. "So you're the villain who's trying to take over our new base, Gu Qingheng? Someone tell him what's going on." Gu Qingheng had expected a happy reunion with Lin Miaomiao in their first real-life meeting, but he hadn't expected Lin Miaomiao's reaction to be so bizarre, directly accusing him of being a villain. At that moment, Gu Qingheng's heart sank. Yi Hongwen, however, was in high spirits. He'd been raving about the Rongsa fleet's misdeeds to Lin Miaomiao these past few days, emphasizing how Rongsu's deputy captain was trying to force them to exchange their new base for a few credits and some broken machinery. It seemed his words had been effective. "Miaomiao, you misunderstood. I'm not trying to seize your new base," Gu Qingheng quickly defended himself. "I'm only here to negotiate with Yi Hongwen about the exchange. Don't explain. Explanations are cover-ups, and cover-ups are a sign of guilt. And guilt is a sign of being a bandit," Lin Miaomiao said fiercely. "I don't want to be friends with bandits." Gu Qingheng felt her headache. He'd never seen this girl this difficult on StarNet. Could it be that she'd upgraded her skills after spending nearly a month in Iceface's fleet? "Yi Hongwen, won't you explain?" Gu Qingheng asked unhappily. "I have no obligation to explain for you," Yi Hongwen said calmly. "Besides, you asked to see Miaomiao. Now that you have met her, you should go back." Gu Qingheng was depressed. I haven't talked to her yet. Then you can continue, Yi Hongwen said generously. With so many people present, he didn't know how to talk. Gu Qingheng helplessly reported the contact number to Lin Miaomiao. Let's chat on video or on the Star Network? Lin Miaomiao thought about it and refused helplessly. I'm very busy every day now. In addition to training, I have to cook for everyone. I don't have enough time. Gu Qingheng's eyes flashed, but his face showed sympathy. I didn't expect you to work so hard in Shanghai. Captain Yi is too good at exploiting the team members. It's not as easy as our Rongsu fleet. Otherwise, Miaomiao, come with me to Rongsu. Lin Miaomiao was stunned for a moment. This was a blatant poaching, and it was done in front of Yi Hongwen. Glancing furtively at Yi Hongwen, seeing his expression remained icy, seemingly unconcerned, Lin Miaomiao breathed a sigh of relief, only to feel a little annoyed. What exactly did Yi Hongwen mean? Did he not care if she was poached, or was he absolutely certain she wouldn't be? Despite her annoyance, Lin Miaomiao clearly rejected Gu Qingheng. No, I have my classmates and friends here, and I enjoy this fulfilling life, too. Am I not your friend too? Gu Qingheng insisted. You can live a fulfilling life in Rongsu, too. Lin Miaomiao looked at him speechlessly. But I only know you in Rongsu, while Chenyu has many friends. Gu Qingheng choked. Did this mean he wasn't important enough? Although he felt hurt, he didn't want to give up so easily. Miaomiao, are you really not going to reconsider? I'd like to work in the same fleet with you, Gu Qingheng said, his expression melancholy. It was said that his expression was quite devastating. Lin Miaomiao seemed to hesitate after hearing this. She looked at Yi Hongwen, then at Gu Qingheng, and finally made up her mind and said, actually, it's not impossible for you to be in the same fleet with me. Miaomiao, have you agreed to go back to Rongsu with me? Gu Qingheng was extremely surprised. Yi Hongwen frowned and interrupted coldly, I don't agree, you can't do that. It's normal for fleet members to be transferred to each other. Gu Qingheng smiled brightly. Even if you don't agree, there's nothing you can do about it once the transfer order comes down. Yi Hongwen looked at Lin Miaomiao with a dark face. Have you really decided to go to Rongsu? Gu Qingheng rushed to answer, of course, she agreed just now. Wait, I don't want to go to Rongsu. Lin Miaomiao finally found the opportunity to speak. I mean, you can be transferred from Qingqiu to Shanghai. Gu Qingheng. The onlookers who didn't know the situation. Yi Hongwen was helpless. Although he was very happy that Lin Miaomiao didn't want to go to Rongsu, letting Gu Qingheng come to Shanghai would only make things more difficult for him. Don't talk nonsense. Gu Qingheng is Rongsu's vice captain. How can he be transferred casually? Yi Hongwen said righteously. That's right. Vice Captain Gu is the commander of our fleet. How could he be transferred to your lousy Shanghai fleet? Qiao Mu said insincerely. In fact, he would be happy to see Gu Qingheng transferred. It might allow him to advance further. Is that so? Lin Miaomiao said with a hint of disappointment. That's not possible. But Qingqiu, you really should consider it. I believe our Shanghai fleet will become as large as Rongsu in a few years. Gu Qingheng was embarrassed. Where did this girl get such confidence from? Gu Qingheng had originally been reluctant about coming to Shanghai. After all, Rongsu's scale and prospects were far superior to Shanghai's. But Yi Hongwen's words had made him rebellious. As Rongsu's vice captain, Gu Qingheng knew that Yi Hongwen had voluntarily transferred to Shanghai, not been framed as others thought. A level 6 mecha operator under 30 was more than capable of even joining the number 1 ranked Zuori. Why did his old rival have the courage to come to Shanghai, but he didn't have the courage to come? Although he had an idea in his mind, Gu Qingheng did not say it out loud on the spot. He just looked at her steadily and said, Miaomiao, your wish is beautiful, and I hope your choice is correct. Deputy Captain, it's too late, we should go back, Qiao Mu urged. He didn't agree with Lin Miaomiao's statement. Maybe Shanghai will become a large fleet in a few decades, but it is impossible in a few years. Not only Qiao Mu, but other people in the Rongsu fleet also think so. Gu Qingheng looked at the time and felt that it was a bit late. He could only say goodbye to Yi Hongwen. I will urge the fleet to process the compensation for you as soon as possible. Then, we will leave first. Once the compensation is in place, we will immediately transfer the right to use Sea and Star to you, Rongsu, said Yi Hongwen. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, Every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.